My mother used to always tell me in life, no matter what happens to you, no matter what someone says, what someone does, or what someone puts out there, tries to say about you, naysayers, things don't go your way. My mother used to always tell me, always keep your head to the sky, son. Always keep your head to the sky. Every move is not meant to be made right now. Chess, not checkers. Every comment or every action doesn't deserve a response. Some things are better left unsaid. Your grandmama's been telling y'all that all your lives. If she's still around, she's still telling you that. If she's in heaven with the Lord, she's still telling you through subliminal messages. The NBA trade deadline passed yesterday, 3 p.m. East Coast time, 12 Pacific. And there's always going to be winners and losers. And that's the one thing I do love about the trade deadline in sports is it gives you something to look forward to in the middle of the season when you're going through a dreadful season like the NBA is going through right now. Magic Johnson took over the Los Angeles Lakers last week, came in and cleaned house. Jim Buss, gone. Kupchak, gone. Brings in Rob Pelinka as GM. He's consulted with Kobe Bryant. Him and Jeannie Buss are on the same page. They're on the same level. They're on the same thought process together. Everything is going in one direction. Everything looks good. The Lakers could have made a move yesterday. The deals were out there. The Lakers' phones are ringing off the hook for Randall. They're ringing off the hook for Ingram. They're ringing off the hook for Russell. Magic is willing and dealing. Magic's going to do what he needs to do. First round pick from Houston. Brings in a first-round pick, sends off Lou Williams. Puts Lou Williams in a situation, you're going to be in the playoffs, you're going to be able to contribute. Had 20-plus points in his first outing with Houston. That's keeping your head to the sky. Indiana Pacers could have moved Paul George, decided not to move Paul George, maybe didn't like the deal, wanted the first-round pick that was probably might be the number 1 and number 2 overall pick that Boston also has, decided to stay put. They still have Paul George for a year and a half. Maybe they make another trade to get another player there. I don't know who's clamoring to go live in Indianapolis and in Indiana. I don't know who's clamoring to do that. But the Indiana Pacers, in my opinion, they're keeping their head to the sky. When I look at teams like Sacramento Kings moving moving DeMarcus Cousins, and I look at the Pelicans that have brought him in, and now they team him up with Anthony Davis. They both go for 25 plus last night. Both go for double-digit rebounds. They lose. That was a panic move, in my opinion. It was a panic move because I've been saying since Anthony Davis got there, he won't be there long. You're not going to be able to get any free agents to come down there that's going to make a difference in the Western Conference to win a championship. He's going to be out of there. That was a panic move. That was not keeping your head to the sky. That was panicking with your head down and thinking that you need to do something now that you just didn't need to do. I still stand strong. Sacramento won the trade. There's nothing that's going to make me think anything different. Sacramento absolutely won that trade. They won that trade hands down. There's nothing that would make me think even different because, as I said last week, I believe in chemistry. I believe in a positive energy. I believe in a positive aura. I believe in chemistry. Teams that are also keeping their head to the sky and looking to the future, not making a panic move, the Chicago Bulls. I know Chicago and everybody wanted them to do the Okafor deal and everybody wanted them to move Jimmy Butler because they want Jimmy Butler to go to Boston. So the Eastern Conference actually has somebody that could maybe remotely compete with Cleveland. When Cleveland makes up their mind and decide that they're just going to blow your ass off the court, they're going to beat you in 5 or 6 or sweep you, as what they normally do in the playoffs, and that's what they've been doing since LeBron got back there. That's what the Heat was doing when the Heat had Bosh and Wade and Jesus Shuttlesworth and LeBron. There's always teams that panic. There's always teams that keep their head to the sky, look forward, don't worry about what people are saying, don't panic off what everybody is doing. Stay the course. And I respect those teams for doing that. Yeah, in my business, we want the juicy trade. We got the juicy trade. You got Cousins out of Sacramento. And we'll touch on that a little deeper too, because as this thing plays out, guys, there's so much overlooked information. There's so much overlooked things. And even myself, I bang on one of those players. I still stand by what I'm saying, but I'm going to add something to it today. That player is Buddy Hield. We're going to talk about Boston. We're going to talk about why didn't the Wizards make a move. We're going to talk about what Miami's going to end up doing with Dragic. He's been on the trade table. Also, too, don't know if you know it, but I'll tell you right now, Chris Bosh just accepted a job with TNT. Is done. I got inside information on why he's done, but it is a source that I don't repeat things when I hear from them. I got some serious, real inside information why he's working at TNT and he's not in the NBA uniform right now. Some real juicy stuff. And I know that's a tease, and I know most people won't believe it. I don't care, because I always, keep my head to the sky. VJs on sportsline.live, Spreaker.com. I'm your host right now, VJ Wright. It's because I always think I am. Hashtag 8515. The Big Vanilla Shaq. The Big Vanilla Funny. The Blue Eye Barkley. The Creamy Comey. VA's Top Talk Boy. Mr. Never Shut Up. And today, I am not going to shut up about the NBA. I don't talk a lot of NBA this time of year. More into college. NBA has been really bad. But there's so many things that showed us once again what era and what league we're in by some of these big names not moving. Because come on, it makes sense to move Jimmy Butler. You have to blow that thing up. They moved McDermott. They moved Gibson. You have to blow. They're trying to blow this thing up. This whole idea of you want to get something back. You want to get something back. In my opinion, that's not keeping your head to the sky. If you got to take player contracts, things like that, I get it. But this whole idea and this fake narrative in the NBA of equal talent, it's not true. What players that are going to make a difference on a championship contender team that you would even trade thinking you're going to get even return back for? What's even for LeBron? What's even for Durant? What's even for Curry? What's even for Russ? What's even for Harden? What's even for Cousins? What's even for Davis? What's even for Butler, for George, for Ingram, even the young three guys? Think about it this way. I know everybody loves to laugh at the Lakers right now, and being out here in LA, I've actually taken a different stance because the team is now interesting to me. I will pay attention every single day on what the Los Angeles Lakers are doing because Baby Bus is out of the way and Magic Johnson and Jeannie and Pelinka are running the show. I believe they will turn this franchise around. I believe it's going to happen quicker than anybody else out here thinks it's going to happen. Because when you were sitting in an office and you were interviewing or you were trying to get somebody in, it matters who's sitting there talking to you. When it was Jerry West, he was the logo, people. He was the logo. How do you tell him no? I live out here. It's Los Angeles. It's 80 degrees in November. There's beautiful women and good-looking men for whatever you like that walk around in every facet, every part of this city every single day. You can lay on the beach in November. They have the best restaurants. It's the entertainment capital of the world. They have some of the best nightclubs. They have some of the best fitness facilities. They have some of the best landmarks you could go see. It's Los Angeles. Half the NBA lives here in the offseason any damn way. But when you're talking to someone across the table that you do not trust that he knows what he's doing and that other people won't go play for this guy. I used to love the narrative of, oh, people don't want to go play with Kobe because no, they don't want to play for Jim Buss. I've been saying it for 3 or 4 years since I moved out here. It's this guy. It's not. I actually started thinking my damn self, and I'm a Kobe guy. Oh, I'm gonna start thinking my damn self. You know what? Damn, maybe it is Kobe. No, it's not. It never was. And when you're Dwight Howard, who don't want to play here, somebody tell me how that worked out for Dwight. Could you imagine if Dwight had just stuck it out for a year and a half? That's it. Kobe was hurt the following year anyway, so you went and had to deal with him during games. So could you imagine if Dwight had kept his head to the sky, stayed positive, don't worry about the riffraff, don't worry about the flim-flam, don't worry about all the immature, childish BS that's going on around you, social media, TMZ, don't worry about that. Suck it up, because this dude is on his way out the door. He's got nothing left. His last year is just his farewell tour. It's your franchise the next year. You have the Lakers. You are now behind Shaq. You are now behind Kareem. You are now behind Wilt. You are now the next big man that can hang some banners in this arena. And then they end up with a point guard. They end up with Randall. They end up with Ingram. Could you imagine that team, right? It'd be Orlando all over again. Young guys, learning the game, gelling, but you're the centerpiece in the face. That's what you want anyway. You always want to be the story. It's always about you. Perfect example of guys not keeping their head to the sky and staying positive. Now you're in Atlanta where you have 0 shot to get out of the second round. They're not better than Washington. They're not better than Cleveland. They're not better than Toronto. They're not better than the Celtics in a 7-game series. They're not better than those teams. But what Magic Johnson did by staying put, brilliant. Magic's looking to the future. Magic's keeping his head to the sky. He's not worried about what people are saying. I don't know about Ingram. I don't know about Russell or Ram. Well, since when do we judge guys, man, like this hard if you're not a LeBron or a Kobe or you're destined to be a legend? Yeah, we judge those guys hard. I do it all the time. I'm in it, and I'm going to. If you're telling me he's the next prodigy, if you're telling me he's the next GOAT, if you're telling me he's the next legend, then I'm not judging him like he's Wally Zerbiak. I'm judging him like he's going to be Jordan, Kobe, Tiger. I do it in golf. Oh, this guy Jordan Spieth, really? He's going to be the next great one? Okay. Well, Tiger was wiping people out at his age. Wiping them off the golf course 7, 8, 9 times a year. Not a tournament here, major here. No, tournament, break, second place, third place, tournament, break, major, break. First place, take a break, third place, second place. Oh, next major, championship. That was Tiger at his age. So don't tell me Spieth is the next one, because I'm going to judge him on who was the one. But when you're a guy like Ingram, oh, he can be Kevin Durant. Do you guys realize how damn great Kevin Durant is? So to say that, you're putting a lot on him. But Kevin Durant, most people knock him, right? Most people call him soft. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He's never mentioned with LeBron. He's never mentioned with Kobe. He's never mentioned with Jordan, Magic, Bird. So why are we judging Brandon Ingram on 5 months of an NBA career at 19 years old? Dude needs to eat some steaks and a few ham sandwiches. He'll be all right. But you can see the skill set, guys. People that know sports know about. You can see the footwork. He makes moves. Sometimes I go, ooh, okay, there you go. That's what I saw it do. That's the stuff that made me think he was going to be a good player coming out of Duke. He'll grow into it. And when he grows into it, look out. But Magic staying put and thinking we can get George in a year and a half, or let's see what we really got here. And if we got to move 1 of the 3, we're not going to panic and do it right now. I freed up some money already by getting Lou. I got us a first round draft pick. Yeah, it'll be in the 20s. That's fine. You can still move that pick though. Because there'll be some other team who's trying to stockpile picks and maybe unload a late contract. Watch how Sacramento does this deal in this offseason. You watch. Now they got Booby out of there. And last night, and I don't want to regurgitate what the TNT crew was saying, but I glanced in on the game a little bit. They looked like a totally different basketball team with Cousins gone. You can see the body language is so much different in a span of almost 1 week. Because he got traded All-Star Sunday. So they've had 3 days of probably sitting with coaches, sitting with the owner. I'm sure the owners come down. I'm sure the GMs come down to the locker room. I'm sure they've had some type of meeting where they have all sat and said, the chemistry will be better now. We need everybody to just do your part, do your job. We're going to rework some things. Their GM is enamored with Buddy Hield. Now, I still stand where I stand on Buddy Hield. I'm not going to change that. But can the kid shoot? Yes. But he must develop an offhand. He must develop an off the dribble move. He doesn't have that right now, and you don't even really see it. With guys like Russell, guys like Randall, guys like Ingram, even when Anthony Davis first came in the league, once again, like I was saying about Ingram, there's always a moment where you look and you go, ooh, damn, dog. It's like that. That's how you feeling tonight? You ate your chicken pasta and your Caesar salad before the game? You had a protein shake? Word? You told your lady no loving last night? You got to save up your energy? Okay, I see you. I see you. I see you, Pimpalicious. I see you, Pimperoni. You see that out of young players. I don't see it in Buddy. But he can handle the ball and he can shoot. If you surround him when you have cap money there, I believe Sacramento will be saved. I really do. It's been a bad ride there. But no franchise purposely stays bad unless you're the Cleveland Browns or unless you're the Philadelphia 76ers. Those two pro sports franchises, I think, purposely stay bad. On purpose. I really do. I know that's wild to say. I know most people won't agree with it, and most people think I'm crazy. I honestly believe that them two damn franchises just go, you know what? We still millionaires. We still making money. I ain't trying to really win nothing, because when you win, you got to spend more money. You don't make as much money. We're not in the greatest markets. Seriously. I honestly believe that. Let's flip over to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a team, I think, that panicked in the opposite way. You gotta move Okafor. He does not want to be there. And nobody's gonna really give you, once again, here's this phrase, equal value. There's no such thing as equal value when you're talking about trading a guy who was supposed to be the star or centerpiece of your team. We need to get rid of that false narrative. It's not true. Because listen, that's just like the asshole who breaks up with his fiance because he done fell in love with the cookie from his side chick. He done fell in love with the cookie. That's not equal value, dog. Because you were committed to your fiance. You're in love. You want to be with her. You guys rarely argue. You agree on a lot. You have a lot of the same interests. You have thousands of inside jokes that nobody else gets that makes your life so much greater. But because somebody might got a little better cookie mice after you dump a cookie into the milk, it just depends on how the milk rolls off the cookie, how good the cookie is. I'm trying to stay clean. I'm trying to stay clean, but you get what I'm saying. It's the same thing in pro sports. You get enamored with the cookie and you forget what you really, really have and had. And you think someone's going to give you equal value for that? Because guess what? The side chick, she may cook all the time, but she ain't bad with money just like you. So y'all going to be broke. She like to rip and run and party more than you do. So y'all going to be in arguments about it. And she got a ton of male friends that you suspicious about, but she swear all 39 of them are just like her brothers. You didn't upgrade. You don't get equal value. There was no equal value for Okafor. But the kid doesn't want to be there. That's a chemistry issue. You got to move that. But you move Noel. If you're going to stockpile all these big men, Embiid, and now we hear breaking news, Simmons is done for the year. Another young NBA player who can't even compete in his rookie season, guys. And I'm wrong about the NBA being bad. Are you serious? Give me a break. I'm wrong about the NBA being bad. I've been waiting. This kid was magical in college. Guess what? Gotta wait. Why? They push and it's all potential. And one and done kills the NBA. There's no reason why he needed to even come to the league this year. You knew Philly had the number 1 pick. Nobody wanted to go. He didn't want to go to Philly. Okafor didn't want to go to Philly. That's not keeping your head to the sky, man. Head to the skies. Get this kid on. Let's get some pieces from Chicago. Even if it's Jimmy Butler, let's say, okay, you got to include Jimmy Butler. But now let's call Boston. Let's now call Boston. Okay, we got Jimmy now, and we want that number 1 draft pick that you have. Now, most will say, well, they've had the number 1 draft pick. Don't matter. Them dudes ain't playing. You got to keep rolling the dice. No one's going to come play there. You're not going to get a major free agent. That part, what they're doing, I agree with. No one's going to Philadelphia to play for the 76ers, guys. They're not signing a major free agent. The NBA is different now. No one wants to live in cold-ass Philly. No NBA player wants to, sets out to live in cold-ass, grimy Philadelphia in the winter. I'm not dissing Philly. My dad is from Philly. I love the city of Philly. I don't want to live there. I don't want to live in Yaden. I don't want to live on the outskirts. I don't want to live in Philly. You think multi-millionaire superstar athletes want to live in Philly? No, they don't. They'll play there, but I got to live somewhere else. Problem is, NBA season's 8 months long, 7 months long. That's a long time to play basketball. You have to kind of live somewhere if you're going to be somewhere for 7 to 8 months. You got to kind of move stuff there. You might need to get a house, especially if you're sitting on like a 4-year, $130 million deal. 120 million. Yeah, you probably need to cop a crib, bruh. Don't live in cold, slushy, crowded, grimy Philly in November, December, January, February, March. Hell no. So you call Boston and you said we got Butler. He don't want to be here, and he probably wants to go up to Boston and have a chance to compete for a championship, or at least to come out the East. They don't even make that move. No, what do? You move Noel to the Mavs. So you give possibly Mark Cuban a corner piece player if he can get on the court. A corner piece player and stay on the court to go with Harrison. That's a nice start. 2 players right there. 2 young. What's Harrison? 5th year? Harrison's in his 5th year, I believe. 4th year? 5th year? 4th year? Harrison Barnes in his 4th year. He's still young. Harrison is still coming into his NBA game. And Harrison is up to 20 a night. He's got like 18 and a half. I think it's about like 18 and a half. Next year, it'll be over 20. Next year, Harrison Barnes will be averaging 22 points a night. If Noel's on the court to take pressure off of him, Dirk should just hang it up. He might stick around for a year. But you make that move, but you don't make the obvious move to try to go get another pick. What the hell are you going to do? They won like 4 out of 5 games, and people were like, oh, here they come. Trust the process. # shut up. You're still horrible. Your front office is still horrible. Jump down to I-95 to the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards, in my opinion, had to make a deal. You have to. That team is currently constructed. They're not better than Boston in the 7-game series. I don't think. They may be over them standards. I do believe that Brad Stevens will out-coach Brooks. I believe Brad's team is a little more physical. Wall is my dude. I love John Wall as an NBA player, as a basketball player. I think he's matured immensely. I think he's a great young man and a really, really good role model for young kids, black, white, Asian, Mexican, Hispanic, doesn't matter. He is a really good role model for young kids. But that team, I just do not think in a 7-game series would beat Boston. You had to make a move. Maybe they stayed put because Boston stayed put. But we flip up to Toronto. Toronto's like, no. We keeping our head to the sky because we've already seen what the Eastern Conference Finals look like. We're trying to get back there. Really good stat for you guys, too. Do you know there's been a different representative in the Eastern Conference Finals almost every year of LeBron's overrated final run? It's been a different team. That shows you the imbalance. It shows you how the competitive edge is just, you don't even have enough years to even build a rivalry. Someone tell me the rivalry in the NBA right now. Somebody tell me the NBA bona fide rivalry in present February of 2017 right now. There isn't one. That lets you know how bad the league is. There's not even rivals anymore. Everybody's just either really mad at LeBron or really mad at the Warriors and Kevin Durant. That's really the NBA fan base right now. That's really the NBA fan base right now. That horrible example of a basketball game and an all-star game. And I'm going to say it right now just like this, man. Right here, right now, point blank, period. Anybody that defends that, I'll never talk basketball to you ever again. I swear. I will never try to hold a intelligent, heated, passionate sports debate in basketball with you ever again if you try to defend what we had to watch on Sunday. There's no way in hell you can tell me that the league is trending upward when that's the art. Did you? And I like Steph, and I thought it was funny to lay down, but I don't want to be the old guy. I don't want to be the old guy. I don't want to be the old guy. But do you think Isaiah Thomas would have laid down? Do you think Maurice Cheeks would have laid down? And everybody keeps going, times have changed, times have changed, times have changed. It doesn't mean that you have to change for the softer, more weak-minded, more weaker mentality changes in society. Don't mean you have to. Just because everybody's got a cell phone, don't mean you got to keep the damn thing in your hand all the time. Just because everybody else is in a restaurant on the phone, instead of looking at their date or their girlfriend or boyfriend or fiance or husband or wife or children across the table, doesn't mean that you have to sit there with your face in the phone just because the times are changing, and that's just what people do. That's bull to me, man. So that's why I still judge sports hard like I do. I don't want to hear. Are you kidding me? The All-Star game? Stop it. It was the three-point shooting contest and dunk contest. That's all it was. And then they wanted to get serious when somebody was going to get a record. That shows you how selfish these dudes are. You ain't playing no damn D, so because you hear the bitch yelling out that he needs 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more points, y'all want to start D'ing up now? You ain't did shit all game. D up because you actually want to show this other conference that we are the better conference, or you want to show this one player that you only get to see twice a year. You know what I would use the All-Star game for? If I had that type of talent, that type of level, and I'm getting 20 to 25 minutes in an All-Star game. I'm going to get 20 to 25 minutes All-Star game. I'm picking out somebody from the other team that people compare me to and that people think is better than me at my position or other guys like that, and I'm going at them. Yeah, first quarter, we going to have some fun. We going to round the back pass. We going to throw it off the backboard. We going to do some tricks and stuff, get the crowd into it. Going into the half, though, about the 4-minute mark, second quarter, going to the half, and definitely the second half, homie, I'm balling. Yeah, I'm going to still throw the oop if it's there. I'm going to still throw it off the backboard if it's there. But I'm definitely not stepping to the side so you can go get a damn dunk. Like 4 dunks in a row. I'm definitely not playing like that. And never. Just the Pro Bowl pisses me off too. And I hate to go sidebar and rant. Pro Bowl pisses me off too. Oh, we could get hurt. You could get hurt at home chasing your kid around. Stop thinking that way. That's because they're not keeping their head to the sky. Y'all remember this joint? I had to play some Blackness music this morning, man. Somebody tagged me in this joint. I was like, y'all playing that on the radio show this morning. And I'm incorporating that into my phrase or my word of the day. My phrase of the day is keep your head to the sky, man. And with that being said, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come right back. I want to talk about some of the childishness that I'm seeing between pro athletes, and I'm going to bang on my own people with this one, dog. Normally, the big vanilla color card, y'all know how I normally deal those out. But today, I got to deal them out in a different direction because you guys know I stay about consistency. I stay about staying who I am and not changing my opinion and what I think to fit my own inner narrative. I like to be fair across the board. I think it makes for great radio. All that and more coming up. VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct, Springer.com. Y'all remember this, y'all? This is in House Party 2. Damn it, I should have made that a trivia question to see if anybody could have guessed the soundtrack. DJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct live on Spreaker.com right now. And listen to us on Spreaker. You also can check us out later on iHeartRadio podcast. iHeart's been really good at showing me love, man. Picked up my show, so don't forget to get me over there. Also the YouTube channel is going very, very, very well right now. I need to pick it up, so if you guys can also jump on the Unsportsmanlike Conduct /VJ right on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, we were talking about some of the trade deadline things, teams looking for the future, keeping their head up, staying, keep your head on the swivel like a linebacker, staying in the now, not making panic moves. And in the chat room right now, Big Vince from the Vince Squad wants to talk about Rick Rubio not being moved from the T-Wolves. And the T-Wolves are a very interesting team to me. And the reason why I don't think you move Rubio, I think it was first of all, let me preface my opinion by saying I think it was the right move to stay put. I don't think you panic, and you're bringing him in for Derrick Rose. I know he played with Thibodeau. Derrick Rose, I have sold all my stock on Derrick Rose. I have officially sold every drip of stock I have on Derrick Rose. Minnesota's only fault, in my opinion, is that they play in the Western Conference. It's Golden State one night. It's Spurs the 2 nights after that. It's a back-to-back with the Clippers. Then it's on the road at Denver, which is a tough place to play. And then you're down to San Antonio. And then you're home for Portland. And then you get the Lakers come in on Ostrich. Or you got to come out to LA and play a team that you may be better than, but it's a road game. The Lakers seem to play much better at home than they do on the road. Then maybe you take a West Coast road trip where you have to play Cleveland. And you play Boston. And you play Toronto. And you play Washington. You play the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference on a 4 or 5 game trip, and then you're back home. That's hard when you don't have the mega stars, the talent pool that some of these other teams have, i.e. Spurs, Warriors, Cavs. Even in the Western Conference, that's their only fault. They have a great young team. But once again, they're going to have chemistry issues, because I'm hearing out of Minnesota that Towns is not as happy as you would think he would be, because Wiggins is really doing this thing, and Wiggins is getting a lot of plays called for him. But that's the NBA. The NBA is about the wing now. It's about the off wings. It's not about the point anymore. It's not about the big man. It's about the side of the arc. It's about the wings. Out on the perimeter of the wings. Look at all the big guys now. All the big guys now are playing out on the wing. Look where Anthony Davis takes a lot of jump shots from. Look where DeMarcus Cousins takes a lot of his jump shots from. You got Markieff and Marcus Morris now, 3-point shooters. They're both 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Everybody's out on the wing. Nobody's got their back to the basket anymore. But Wiggins is the guy there. I think Towns is a great player, but Wiggins, in my opinion, is the better player. He's the more longevity NBA player that you're going to win a championship with before you win it with Karl Anthony Towns. So I think it was smart for them to sit there, especially when you're talking about getting Derrick Rose. Now, flip over to the Knicks. I've been on Phil Jackson's side. I've been on Phil Jackson's, bandwagon when he took the job over. And I'm going to still stay right there. Because as we spoke about last week, when we used the word chemistry, when you're talking chemistry, when you don't have it from the ownership down, you can't blame the other steps. If you go up to the top of a ladder and the top step breaks, you can't blame the 3rd, 4th, and 8th and 9th step for breaking it. Also, as you fall down the ladder, the momentum, the bad negative momentum is already coming down. That step's not strong enough to hold you. The top step is supposed to be the strongest step on the ladder. There's a reason why San Antonio is good all the time. Patriots good all the time. Cardinals good all the time. San Francisco Giants good all the time. Green Bay Packers good all the time. Duke basketball, Carolina basketball, UCLA, Alabama football, Michigan, Ohio, Florida State, Clemson, Texas. There's a reason why programs, franchises, teams, organizations, there's a reason why some of them are really good all the time. Some are kind of good all the time, and some are really bad all the time. It definitely always starts at the top. So I'm not blaming Phil Jackson for not making a move. I like the fact that Phil Jackson stayed put and stayed where he was. And I'm going to take a second here to also pat Carmelo Anthony on the back for how well Carmelo Anthony has handled all of this negativeness that's going on. Built originally ever since 1999, since Dolan took the team over from his dad. It's showing in sports. Most of the kids can't do what Daddy did. Steinbrenners, the Busses, Dolan, Some kids just can't duplicate what daddy built. Because they didn't really ever learn it. They were partying and driving a convertible Mercedes and living in mansions and doing cocaine and partying with plenty of women and girls. My man Fish says Duke caught that L. Syracuse though. Go Orange. You ain't gotta tell me that, homeboy. I'm a Tar Heel. And it wasn't nothing for me to even say. It would have been really petty of me to come at Duke fans, because of course came after me after that lucky Carolina win that they got earlier this year when we didn't have Hicks on the court. And they decided to go out and hit 13 3-pointers, which is going to be hard to beat any team when they come out on fire. 13, 16, I think, either 16 or something like that. They were just on fire that night. Duke is still who I thought they were. Duke is still an overrated basketball team. And in any game where they don't hit threes for the last 25 years, especially the pivotal game in the tournament, they're going to get knocked down and go home. So I'm not worried about Duke. And I called Syracuse about a month ago. I told people, they look like they're on a little roll here, man. Watch Syracuse. They're upsetting some team. They beat Duke twice this year. They have some bad losses, too. They lost by 32 to Rutgers. They lost by 51 to somebody else. They've got some bad losses, too, but Syracuse has been on a little run here. But I'm not going to bang on Phil Jackson for not making a move. I'm going to applaud Carmelo Anthony for staying professional and taking all this stuff that he's taken. But that situation will not turn around until Dolan is gone. It won't turn around until Dolan's gone. He's bad, man. He's bad for basketball. And it's making it worse and worse. Last night, they played the Knicks played the Cavs in Cleveland. What's the storyline? Charles Oakley at the game. It wasn't even about the game. The NBA is the best reality show going. When I tell people I don't watch reality, I should. I guess I've been lying. Because I watched the NBA. I haven't watched this year, but I watched the NBA. NBA's best reality going. Flip it up real quick to pro athletes being childish. There's some things going on. In today's world, I understand social media. I like social media. I enjoy social media. I'm a big social media fan. I put my shows, my comedy, my radio, my opinions, my political thoughts, things like that, all out on social media. I'm all about, hey, if you want to know the real me, here it is. You're either going to like it or you're not. You're either going to think I fit or you don't. But when I watch my fellow black pro athletes go at each other and childish, bullying, threatening, trying to clown type ways, it just makes me put my head down and just shake side to side. It really does. When you think about Shaq and JaVale McGee right now, when you think about Draymond Green and Paul Pierce right now, when you think about even Soulja Boy and Chris Brown, when you think about Richard Sherman and Darrell Revis and Sherman and Patrick Peterson and Sherman and Joe Hayden, it's embarrassing to me, man. It's embarrassing to me as a black man. It's embarrassing that y'all brothers is getting all this money. Y'all are getting highly compensated. You are living the life that less than 1% of other African Americans will ever even get 25% in the range of living. Not 50%, not 40%, not 60%, but about 25 to 30% up to even your range of what you live. Less than 1%. We have to go at each other and call each other names on social media. We got to always be about ourselves and be the show. We got to try to embarrass people. I go through it now with comedy and radio. And it's the weirdest, funniest thing to me because it normally comes from someone who I've never done nothing to. I've never done nothing to you. But my show's been called fake. I've been called a fake-ass ESPN analyst. I've had some idiot, some jerk go online and mention that I know somebody that works at ESPN, but they ain't got me in yet, and blah, blah, blah. I'm a clown. You a clown, this type thing. It's almost like, huh? I'm running the same race, and I'm running the same race in the same events you are, so why are you tripping me up over these hurdles? I'm jumping the same hurdles you are. Why are you tripping me up? And that's the feeling I get when I see Shaq and JaVale McGee. And Shaq and the Fool is funny. It's entertaining. I get it. But there is a sense of bullying when you pick on one guy over and over and over and over and over and over again. And we seem to be the only pro athletes that do this to each other. You don't see two tennis players from Yugoslavia and France tweeting back and forth that one's a clown, or you can see me, or you threatening me now. You don't see Tom Brady and Peyton Manning throwing shade at each other through social media. You don't see Wes Welker and Danny Amendola throwing shade at each other. You don't see Luke Kuechly and Clay Matthews Jr. throwing shade at each other or trying to call each other out on social media. Back and forth, back and forth. It's so childish. That's what my teenage daughter used to do with her friends when she was 14 and 15. So I guess essentially I can say that those guys are acting like 14 and 15-year-old teenage daughters in the new millennial social media, internet, phone, records everything age. It's almost disgusting to me. And it kind of, and I know there's people that, I like it. I like the animosity. But why though? Why? We got enough problems as it is in this country, just being who we are with the color of our skin. We're going to attack the brother. We're going to attack the next man that's doing the same thing we doing. I never understood that. Never understood that. Shaq is so above this. So above, or at least I thought he was. I always clowned Richard Sherman when he was doing it. Everybody, you know, people got me, oh, you hating on Sherman. No, he just sounds like an idiot. You from Compton, you went to Stanford, you graduated, you're a smart man. Act like it. Why are you acting like you dumb? Don't brag about coming out of Stanford. Don't brag about getting into Stanford, coming out of Compton, if you as a pro athlete and a grown-ass man are going to act like that. What are you bragging about where you went to school then? Use some of that decorum and some of that maturity and manners that you learned while you were there. You weren't talking like that when you were at Stanford. You didn't know you were going to end up on Seattle. You didn't know you were going to end up in the Legion of Boom. You had no idea they was going to get Russell Wilson. You guys were going to have this magical run of the Super Bowl. As soon as that happened, starts running his mouth. As most people would say, classic you know what. Classic N-word. Paul Pierce, Draymond Green. Draymond, I like Draymond. Draymond needs to chill, though. We talked about Draymond 2 weeks on the show when we did the show about change. Draymond needs to slightly change. I don't want him to change too much because it'll take away from his game. But he does need to slightly change. You can't tell me he would diminish, his basketball skills would just go away and disappear. It would be diminished if he changed just a little bit. I like Paul Pierce. I'm not a big Paul Pierce guy, but that is, that's kind of my dude. I enjoyed Paul Pierce. I enjoyed him in Kansas. I enjoyed watching him play his whole career with the Celtics. The fact that that city was so bad, that team was so bad, he got stabbed in a nightclub on some gang shit and stuck it out in that city instead. I respected that about Paul Pierce. Showed his loyalty to the franchise, and they eventually went and got him some help and got him a team that can help them be competitive. Win 60-something games. Go win a championship. Go back to the finals 2 years later. I respect that. But to go back and forth with Draymond, first of all, you're the veteran, man. You're the older dude. The older dude always is supposed to just step away. If you're not in my face and you're not talking about my lady, you're not talking about my kids or my brothers, my sister, my mama, my family, my people, man, you can stand over there and say all you want to say. Till you step over here, it don't mean absolutely nothing. And it don't really mean nothing when you step here. It just mean that we're about to see what's up. That's what that means. When you step over here, now we're about to see what's up. It don't really matter what you're saying at that point. At that point, it's just more about the disrespect. But he made a comment about, you thought they was going this or that. You thought you was Kobe. They don't love you like that. You thought you was Kobe. I get where he's going. He might have been clowning a little bit, but it was just something that you didn't need to say to another black athlete who has done nothing wrong in this league, who never really got in any trouble off the court, who always stayed professional. He never ripped other people. He never went off the hinge. He never ran up into the crowd and started fighting people or anything like that. All he did was put in his time in the NBA, and he's just trying to get the last few checks and go out the door. He wants to take one more season, man, and just go around to all the places, see all the arenas maybe one more time, play on all the courts maybe one more time, go against an old coach or get some old teammates one more time, and then just go retire out here in Cali and LA and chill. He from Inglewood. You're supposed to show that respect to that, Draymond. That's the problem with young millennials, is they think they need to say everything. I run into it all the time with my kids. I get into it back and forth with my 18-year-old daughter about how she expresses herself sometimes. You're allowed to express yourself, but you don't have to say everything to me, because everything ain't meant for a child to say back to her parent, regardless of how you feel. This era of, well, I feel this way and I feel this way, so I gotta say it. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's why you got people online. That's why you got idiots online. That's why I stay off of Twitter. I really want to do Twitter, but there's so many idiots on Twitter. There really are so many idiots. When your screen name is NBA Access _ the King LBJ, why would I want to talk sports with you? Basketball especially. You got LeBron's initials in your damn screen name, bro. So I already know what your alliance is. You ain't never gonna see no Kobe, no Dolphins, no Michigan, no Tar Heels, no Rangers, no Jeff Gordon, no Nadal, no Serena. You ain't never gonna see none of that stuff in my damn screen name. I like those players. I enjoyed those players and those athletes, but it's my page. My name goes on it. But we live in this era where everybody needs to say something or have to say how they feel. And Draymond just needs to chill. And I'm going to say it again. I like Draymond. I love the way Draymond plays. Draymond reminds me of a highly skilled Dennis Rodman. He reminds me of a highly skilled Dennis Rodman. And sometimes there's just a chemical imbalance with people. I feel the same way about DeMarcus Cousins, man. Cousins, there's a chemical imbalance about him. That's not normal, man, to get into it and be that angry, that mad all the time. His attitude ain't shit. It's not. And playing in New Orleans is not going to change it. Also, too, quick sidebar. Do you guys see how far those records are? So once again, for everybody that thought that New Orleans so far won this trade, they're like 2 games apart. Sacramento won this deal, guys. I'm telling you. Chemistry is everything. And he's a free agent after next year. There's no guarantee he's staying. You don't make a move for a super name if you're not ready to compete for the championship with that guy, or he hasn't agreed to already stay. I wouldn't do it as a GM. If you're Boston, I understand. That's why I understand Jimmy Butler if you're Boston. Jimmy Butler in Boston, they could beat the Cavs. Big might. But we don't know what Kevin Love is going to look like when he comes back. We don't know what J.R. Smith is going to look like when he comes back. I know somebody that knows J.R. personally. I recently talked to him. He told me J.R.'s really enjoying his time. Their baby was born premature. He's been at home with the family. He's enjoyed his time off, rehabbing. Really just, he's been chilling. JR got that ring, man, started showing up everywhere with his shirt off and wilding out, acting crazy. I think JR, and he's got this last contract, I can honestly see JR playing his contract out and retiring. That would give him, 12, 13 years in the league? I can see J.R. Smith doing that. I don't know if his mind is still in. We don't know what Cleveland's going to look like in May. Even if you wanted to go after Cousins if you're Boston, I totally would agree with that move. But you probably got to give up Bradley. You might have to give up another young player in the draft pick. I get it, but Cousins to Boston, you now can compete with Cleveland. That's a 6 or a 7 game series. It just depends on how the ball bounces and how shots fall. Kyrie might go cold. LeBron's shooting his worst 3-point percentage, I believe, in his career since his rookie year. They're not lighting it up. They bring in Kyle Korver. Nice move. Kyle Korver's starting to fit in. Kyle Korver's starting to hit some threes and hit some jump shots, that's what he does. LeBron finds people hit shots. He had a triple-double last night. But we live in this era where just everything, people feel like they need to say everything, and it's just, Shaq and JaVale going back and forth, it didn't get me hyped. I didn't go, oh, they mad, oh, they feeling it, oh, they going at you. It made me just shake my head and go, guys, come on, Shaq. You're so above this, man. It's JaVale McGee, Shaq. It's JaVale McGee, Shaq. JaVale McGee. You're Shaquille O'Neal. You're the big Aristotle. You're the big Cactus. You're the big Wilt Chamberneezy. You're Superman. You're Shazam. You're Shazam. You're Blue Chips. You're Steel. You're Shaq. Your endorsement deals are more than his contracts are. I don't think you just need to go back and forth with that guy. If somebody needs to call Shaq today, just go, hey, bro, let it go, man. Let it go. It's not a good look. It's not a good look on TNT. It's not a good look to people. It's this tweeting and this social media thing with pro athletes back and forth. You know, some of these networks where these people work, or some of these franchises have to just grab these people, pull them aside, and just say, man, listen, like, stop it. Oakley was sitting with Dan Gilbert last night. Oak Tree is that dude. Oak Tree is that dude. I had a young boy ask me, like, yo, man, what Charles Oakley was acting like that? I said, see, y'all young dudes don't do your research. Oak Tree, hey, that wasn't no front. Why you fronting like? That's what he said to me. Yo, why you fronting like that, man? Acting tough with the security. I said, see, y'all young bucks don't know shit. You millennials are smart and dumb as hell all at the same time. Very smart and dumb as hell at the same time. I know young people who could create apps. Can create apps, but won't go do some damn research and find out. Love the NBA so much, claim to love the NBA so much, but gonna ask me why chose Oakley fronting. Man, you better check his police record. That's Oak Tree. You better Google him. He better be like, let me tell you something, security better be lucky, Lord rest his soul, that Anthony Mason wasn't sitting right there with him. They better be lucky. Oh, that thing might have broke out to a brawl. Them two brothers right there, man. Respect. Respect. And see, that's what the NBA used to be. The respect of the game is gone. It's gone. These young guys can try to tell me all day, no, it's not. No, they do not respect the game. Because you don't even respect the competitive spirit of the game anymore. Everybody's looking to go play with 3 and 4 other superstars. That's not respecting the game. That's just like the guys at the Y that always pick they got the best guys that's in the gym right now. And that's the why. I understand you can pick a team. You can show up with 4 friends or 5 friends. You've been playing together for a while. Run some game. You understand what I'm saying? Shut up. My man G Munder's in the chat room. I love this quote right here. I love this. I like this one, man. Brothers and sisters don't have a code of conduct when they deal with each other. That's why Twitter beefs and all this animosity between us. I agree with that. There is no code because we've been shown. Black people in America, period, and we'll keep it with the pro athletes. We've been shown not to respect each other. We've been conditioned and we've been brainwashed into hate ourselves, not respect each other. So I definitely agree with what you're saying right there, and it's a problem. It's a bad problem. And that's why you get these little Twitter beefs back and forth, and you get these little, and even when people online come at me, it's almost like, dog, really, you trying to air out laundry or air out your feelings and whatnot, and it's always the person that swears the other person mad. He mad. That's another thing that lets me know when you're not happy with yourself is when you're happy to see other people mad. That's because you're not happy, and it kills you to see other people successful and happy because you're not. I feel like that seeps into pro sports so much. I didn't take the Shaq stuff against the White really bad because the White kind of swung back first, and the White's just a sensitive ass dude. And Shaq was right about the White. He should be averaging 25 and 13, 28 and 15. He should have been. He never was, but he should have been easily. God, Dwight Howard, why didn't you just stick it out another year? That's it. This would have been your franchise. And now they're talking about Paul George has let it known. I'm going back. Paul George is from Palmdale. That's right outside of LA. It's another county. It's not, I think it's Ventura County, if I'm not mistaken. Or San Bernardino or San Fernando County. It's not Los Angeles County. but he's from Palmdale. He wants to come back here. He wants to come back to LA and play for the Lakers. Could you imagine those young pieces, those young studs they got? The Whites there in the middle. There's no other big man that can really guard him. So you're going to dominate there. And then you bring in the PG who could play on the perimeter and drive and penetrate. And he passes well. And he's one of the better ball-on-ball, if not one of the top 5 ball-on-ball defenders in the league. You put that alongside of Russell and Ingram, and then you throw Randall at the 4, you have Howard at the 5. Are you kidding me? I tell you, man. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll keep going with NBA trade deadline. I also want to get into some of the NFL veteran cuts and some of the bigger stories. The stuff about Romo's really calmed down. This is the last week in February really gets quiet. In my opinion, it's one of the most quiet weeks of the NFL calendar and the NFL season because everybody's getting ramped up for next weekend because next weekend, as we all know, is the Combine. That's what everybody's kind of focusing on now. Romo talks died down. AP's name has died down a little bit. We know those moves have got to be made. They're still all the way until March 9th, guys. March 9th is the deadline where some of these people are going to be making moves. That's when the trades that have already been made can be official. Free agency starts after that. Free agents can start signing places. And I got some free agent names, too, that nobody is talking about that could probably change a semi-contender into a 100% contender, including for my beloved Miami Dolphins. There are some players, I looked at this list and said, wow, Miami's talking about going for this position. Miami's talking about going for this position and maybe drafting the guy. I understand that because it saves cap. But if you feel like 10-6 can turn into 12-4 or 13-3, depending upon how the schedule bounces out next year, you go get one of these guys that I'm going to tell you guys about. And I'm pretty sure most of you are going to agree. All that and more coming up. VJs on Sports and Light Conduct, Spreaker.com.
Well, I'm known to be the master in the MC field. No respect in 87, 88, Chanel, cause I produce and get loose. When it's time to perform, wax something like Mop and Glow. That's what it born. Back the second time, but on a different assignment to do a sucker new jack who needs a rap in alignment, cause I'm the cream in the crop when it's time to do a show. Girlies on my job for my dope intro. As I glance at the double, K microphone wrecker. Turn on my callers, say your mic checker to the ladies and all party goers. Some call me Pete, then others slow flower. Brothers on my jock for the way I hold a piece of steel. So what you saying? So what you saying? Putting heads to bed. Straight out the box, MCs are jumping out shoes and socks. I'm not playing. Understand what I'm saying? Cut the sucker in my way, and I'm slaying. Taking no shorts, showing vital signs. You can tell by my lines that I'm getting mines in 89. Because I'm fine as wine. Sit back and recline. Watch the sunshine, take a stroll. Listen to rock and roll. Cut the flick at the movies, dance a bowl. What I choose and refuse to slack. While I'm back, I take a chance, Jack. So I must attack with knick-knack, paddywhack, so I won't lack. All my style is death and it's deadly as crack. While I'm slaying, music's plain, a sucker is the lane. Battle in the trenches where the funky be playing. Cause with a partner like a double, don't come a dime a dozen. I can't have blood related, but you could call us cousins. Cause as we climb the chart, better known as statistics. The brothers on my jock while I'm kicking ballistics. Dropping hits like I'm house when you got the chill and more. The proof is in the pudding. Yo, check the billboard. People around town talking this and that. How we sound like the R and our music was whack. Drop the album Strictly Business and you thought we would fold. 30 days later, the LP went gold. So what you saying? So what you saying? Now, party people, it's time for the exquisite. No knock, knock, who's that? Who's there? Oh, is it? It's the E-R-I-C-K. Yes, the boy wonder. No foul, no bleeps, no bloops, and no blunders. So hot, so you can say I'm blazing. Luther Vandross says, yo, I am so amazing, and I've been waiting for a sucker to attack. You'll me the E double, come me and P&D like the funky fresh couple.
I fight fire with fire, that's why most retired. And when we needed a piss boy, you was high cause you was memorized. But the style that we was bringing in the all-out battle, he comes out swinging. Cause I'm just the type of brother that's out to get mines. And if the odds against me, I still drop lines and get mines on time. That's why most resign. Sit in my lazy boy chair, relax my head and recline. Sip a Pepsi or Coke with a twist of lime or crack a 40 and then I go for mine. So what you saying? So what you saying?
VJs on Sports Like Kinda Live on Spreaker.com. Your host VJ Rex, because I always think I am 8515. Quick sidebar, man. I will be out and about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you're out here in LA, catch me at Haha Comedy Club. Next Wednesday, I'll be at the Ice House. Tuesday night, I'll be auditioning at the Laugh Factory. So comedy's going real well. I want to thank everybody out there who's been coming to the show, supporting me, hitting me up, man. Just giving me that extra support and showing your realness about supporting me and just everything with comedy. Everything that I do, man. I always appreciate the love. I always appreciate people coming out to the shows. Coming and get they laughed on and promoting my comedy style and promoting my shows and things like that. So that's always greatly appreciated. On to NFL free agents. Also, too, had a guest just text me, said he wants to call in on the show. My man Dread, a.k.a. The Fish Microwave from the X Squad, will be calling in pretty soon. We'll get him on. We'll get his thoughts on the NBA trade deadline. And we'll talk about some of this NFL stuff that I got going right here. I have about 10 free agent names that I wrote down earlier this morning. And I think these guys are being all overlooked. And as I start to name these guys, some of you people that are listening right now are going to go, hey, damn, I didn't know he was a free agent. I forgot about him because I did myself. And you guys know how on top of football I am. And that's not me to be any type of football guy saying I'm any type of football knowledge guy. But these are just names that most people just, they just don't know. I'm going to start off with Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler is a free agent. Now, I'm pretty sure he would want to stay in New England. But Malcolm Butler has 2 Super Bowl rings in the last 3 years. We know New England doesn't pay defensive guys big time money when their contracts are coming up. They're not really big about giving up a lot of bread. He could probably hit the market, get a nice contract, and still stay on a contending type team. 2 teams I wrote down, my beloved Miami Dolphins and also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as they had just cut weight with Velmer. Velmer, their all-pro corner, Pro Bowl corner that they had, defensive back that they had, they've cut him. Or they're going to, or they're either going to, or the cuts already happened. I'm not sure. Side quick bar right now. Kristaps Porzingis will be out a few days. He got hurt in the game last night. How you like that? Trade deadline goes by, Knicks stay stand packed, and now you lose Porzingis. Poor Knicks. But Butler can go to Tampa. Miami's in the market for a corner. The stories out of Miami with Armin Segundo is that they were going to try to trade Albert for a veteran corner. The Seattle Richard Sherman conversation was out there. There was some conversation about some defensive backs from the Cardinals, from the Rams, and they thought about making that move. They ended up just trading them for a pick and still getting a title, which they need. Julius Thomas, great move by Miami's front office. But there's a free agent corner who you don't have to, draft a rookie with the number 22 pick. Maybe use that pick for a linebacker now because they need linebacker help. And I have a linebacker on this list also that could just change your defense around the minute he walks on the field, especially if you have defensive end, rush linebackers, a great safety, or corner already. You add this guy that I'm going to mention here in a second to the list, guys, to your defense. This could change your defense. But back to the Dolphins in the corner position. There's stories that they want to trade for a corner. They don't want to draft one. They drafted Xavier Howard last year. They think Xavier Howard's going to be just fine. But to bring in another veteran to go with the veteran they already have, and Maxwell over on the other side. Byron Maxwell that plays opposite side. You bring Rashad Jones back from injury, All-Pro. Kudus, All-Pro Pro Bowl player at the other safety position. Malcolm Butler would fit in here really, really well. Miami has a pass rush. They have one of the best defensive lines in football. They have an all-pro defensive end. They have an all-pro defensive tackle. They have an all-pro safety. They have 4 all-pro players already on their defensive side of the football. You add Butler to that, great fit. Also Tampa Bay, great fit. The linebacker I want to throw out there, Chandler Jones is a free agent this year. Chandler Jones is a free agent. Chandler Jones will change just about anybody's defense in a quick second the minute he walks in the door. The teams that I have written down next to him he'd be good on, I just wrote the word anywhere. Yeah, I just wrote anywhere. He can go anywhere. But you think about teams like the Giants because they have JPP who's a free agent. They say they want to re-sign him, but that is a big free agent right there in JPP. A rush-in lineman who causes havoc. He commands double teams. He commands two blockers just about every single time that he lines up on a football field. But Chandler Jones could go anywhere. Next guy on the list, Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson, in my opinion, is still the best deep ball threat in the NFL. 2 years ago, led the league at 21.5 catches a game. He still can get behind any defense he wants to. There's not a corner in the league that can stay with him foot speed-wise. There's not a safety that can stay with him in the league foot speed-wise. Teams I got for him, and I wrote a few down for him because he can fit in a lot of places. I start with the Bucs because the Bucs are interested. They are going to bring him in for an interview. He is going to go there as a free agent and take a trip and sit talking to them. And Jameis Winston has already put it out. I would love. Jameis Winston's got a big arm. You already got one beast young receiver on one side. That's your big possession guy. You line Deshaun up with that, and with the really young good tight end that they have there, and the running game, and you have Jameis Winston, the quarterback position. You have a potent offense right there. And look at that division. The Saints aren't stopping many people. Carolina's defense didn't look the same last year. Atlanta defense is still young, played well, but they gave up some points. Gave up points because they normally have big leads in game, but still gave up points. So there's not a lot of big defenses you're going against in that division. That could be a great move. Also, New England. I brought that up about a month ago. Is he at the point in his career, though, where he's mature enough to fall in line with the Patriot way? It's not about the money. It's not about the contract. But would you like to play in the AFC Championship game next year? Because my money would be on New England as the team is currently constructed. And even if they lose Malcolm Butler as a free agent, they traded Chandler Jones. They wasn't playing with him. But even if you lose Malcolm Butler on the defensive side, I'm pretty sure they got a guy to plug in. They normally do. But is he mature enough at this point in his life and his career to say, I want to win? Or does he just want to go somewhere and play with a great quarterback? As he put it, he said he wanted to play with a great quarterback. Doesn't mean you can go to a good team. There's great quarterbacks on teams that aren't so good. You can go play for the Chargers. There's another team I threw out there. Seattle's another team that I threw out there. May not have the money that he's looking for, but hey, man, you want to catch passes opposite of Curse and Baldwin and play with a home field advantage like Seattle, and Russell Wilson runs around so much, you're going to break off so many routes and coverages like Antonio Brown does for Big Ben in Pittsburgh. You're going to have a huge season in Seattle, I would think. Giants are another team I wrote down. Steelers are another team that I wrote down. My man JB Jenner says, don't want Deshaun. He's too fragile. As a Bucs fan, I'd rather draft the receiver and let him grow with Jameis. I don't know about that, bro. I'm not sure if I agree with that, man. I'm a big Deshaun Jackson guy, and I don't think Deshaun Jackson's fragile. I think that when you're playing in a situation and you, like, for instance, I'll say it like this. In my opinion, I thought he went to Washington that fast when San Francisco, and he is from LA, he is from the West Coast. The Niners wanted him, and this is when the Niners had Harbaugh and was going to conference championship game and Super Bowl. So if you thought, and the Redskins were coming off of a 5-11 season or 4-12 season, I believe. If you thought that he went there to win, you're fooling yourself. He went there to be able to get back in Philly twice a year. But I do think after a while, that wears off. And I think when that wears off, you're not locked and loaded and mentally focused and in. Sometimes injuries, sometimes you show up the hamstring thing. I always say hamstring, groin, quad, it's because you're out of shape. You're not in condition. You're not in your body and your muscles are not in football condition shape to withstand that cut, that push off, that route that you're running where you're using a lot of your stutter steps and you're shifting and you're moving your lower body because you're running a double move route a lot in a small area. You got to have your muscles ready for that. Hamstring, groin, calf muscles early in the season, training camp, that part of the year, I always equate that to not physically having your body ready to play football. You haven't been drinking enough water. You haven't been taking enough supplements. You're not ready to play. Broken bones, things like that, you can't help that. Guy lands on your leg, breaks your leg, doesn't mean you weren't ready to play. But little strains and pulls, and that's what he really deals with that I've seen. What was it, last year or year before last? He started the season hurt because he pulled the hamstring really bad and training camp on a route in practice. It wasn't even a preseason game, it was a route in practice. I think it was last year. Yeah, burning Josh Norman's ass. Josh Norman was supposed to be that dude, right? Deshaun was cooking his ass in practice. I think Deshaun Jackson is definitely a guy that can turn your offense around. And all those teams I named, they're right there. The Bucs are right there, guys. The Bucs are right there for winning that division. That's a home playoff game for them. We already know what the Patriots are. We already know what Seattle is. The Giants, I know everybody likes Sterling Shepard, but guess what, Sterling? You got to slide to the 3 now. But wow, would you like to line up with Eli and the Giants in the cold in November and December when the games are really on the line for playoff positioning and to get into playoffs and knock the teams out of playoffs? Do you want to look on one side of the field and see Deshaun, the other side of the field and see Odell, and then in the slot see Sterling Shepard? I don't. I definitely don't. He could give them what everybody thought foolishly thought Victor Cruz is going to be able to come back and give them. If you look at the Steelers, you line him up opposite of Antonio Brown. Now Big Ben's got 2 little speed burners who he scrambles and gets off a sack so much. Now it's not just Antonio breaking off his route and making these huge plays. Now you have D. Jax and his speed doing it too. And you still, as a free agent, if they can re-sign him, you still have Le'Veon Bell out back there running the football for you. That's potent. That would be a great move. Once again, is he mature? No, well, it doesn't matter with the Steelers because Tomlin lets everybody do what he lets players do what he wants. Next player, Kenny Stills. I think he will re-sign with Miami. He's his agent, and everything that I've heard coming out of Miami from little small sources I have has said he loves it down there. He's still down there right now, working out with Tannehill, working out with Matt Moore, working out with some of the other receivers. He has not left town. He's been there working out with him. He's been there trying to, get more in sync, get more into, and get his agent to get this thing done. I haven't even heard of any trips that he even planned to really take. I know the Eagles say they want him, but why would you go there? Why would you go play for a team that won, 6-7 games this past season? You're a second-year quarterback. They don't have a running back. You don't really know what the receiving core is probably going to look like. Why would you want to go there? But Kenny Stills can set up a team that's right there on the cusp as a free agent and help your offense get over that big hump. You think Kenny Stills won't work well in a place like Green Bay, where they're trying to find receivers other than Jordy Nelson? And I know everybody loves Montgomery the running back, but if you draft a running back, which I think they should do in my opinion, I think they need to draft a running back, especially if guys like Dalvin Cook and guys like that are available. At that point, you got to take a running back. And then you can move Montgomery back to receiver because what he is. Why not move him receiver with that type of skill set? That's like Marshall Faulk line of split out wide. And I'm not calling him Marshall Faulk, but he's got a skill set very similar. Runs well, runs hard. He's got great hands. He can catch, played receiver. But I see Kenny Stills. There are a few teams in the NFL that can really use a deep threat like that. Look at a team like Oakland. I think Crabtree's heart got taken, man. He got his chain snatched. He got taken, man. You snatched my chain? Come on. Everybody in the black community, we know what that means. You get your chain snatched off, man? What? Are you kidding me? That's Debo type stuff right there, man. He gonna cry in the car? Watch. He gonna cry in the car? Next receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. There's another guy right there. If you feel like you're right there on the cusp, maybe the Cardinals. Once again, maybe Green Bay. Hey, once again, maybe the Giants. I don't think Sterling Shepard is the bona fide number 2 that you need to take the step. I think he's going to be a good bona fide number 2. But right now, if you're on the cusp and you're trying to make that next step from being a good contender to a solid contender to come out of your conference, win your division first, come out of your conference and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, I think a guy like Alshon Jeffrey can help out a few NFC teams. Dallas Cowboys. Kenny Stills. There's another name. There's another team I'll throw on that list. The Dallas Cowboys. I know Cole is your slot, fine. But don't tell me you can't have those two guys on the same side of the field running those fast, quick routes that they do. Cole Beasley likes to run the intermediate, the middle routes. Kenny Stills like the double moves on the deep post and the fly patterns. And then you still got Dez and Jason Witten, and you still have Terrence Williams. Why not? Alshon Jeffrey. I like the Dallas Cowboys for Alshon Jeffrey. You go take a big guy like that, you put him opposite of another big guy, opposite of Dez Bryant, you got something nice there. You got something real nice there. The Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints. I believe they might lose Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks can end up with a team, I think, like Pittsburgh, the Patriots, Denver, Tennessee. Teams that need a receiver. There's another team for Alshon Jeffrey also, too. Tennessee. Tennessee could be a landing spot for him. And I know the record doesn't say they're right there, but look at their division. Their division winners 9-7. So you just got to get the 9-7 or 10-6. It can happen in a year. That's only 2 games. That's not a big step that you would really have to take a monumental step. 7-9, 6-10. You can flip that to 9-7 the following year. It's only a 2 or 3 game difference. And if they lost 2 or 3 games by a point or 2 points or less second field goal or giving up a late lead. So I think that's a nice landing spot for Alshon Jeffrey. JPP, Giants, Pats, Cards. Cards may lose Chandler Jones. You're going to have to replace that. JPP fits in with what they do. Maybe JPP says, I want to definitely go to a Super Bowl again. I like that feeling. Maybe I go with New England. But I think the Giants are going to push hard to keep him there. Really funny one that like Tony Romo. The Washington Redskins are showing interest in Tony Romo. How great is that? That's where I want him to go. I want him to go to Washington, so all those Redskin fans for all those years that talk all that trash about Tony Romo, he is now the quarterback of your football team. How you like that? Kirk Cousins, there's another name out there. Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent. He's not going to sign his tenure. What he might do, sign the franchise, make $24 million, and become a free agent again next year. Bake the $24 million right now. But I don't know if Washington even really wants him back, especially when you put out a story that you're interested in Tony Romo. Maybe that's a ploy to his agent to get him in there and get a deal worked out. He's not going to work out a deal. I think he sees the writing on the wall. Washington Redskins fans who kind of got hyped off that fluke division championship they won 2 years ago, your franchise is going in the opposite direction real fast. And then there's Le'Veon Bell who's a free agent too. I would want to think you got to get that done if you're the Steelers. I don't have any other teams written down next to this name because it would shock me if he got away from Pittsburgh. But he might also look at the situation and say, well, the Patriots are in our way, so why not take a free agent deal with maybe Seattle? Seattle needs a running back. Also, veteran cut sidebar, Okung. Denver Broncos will not pick up his tenure, his franchise option this year. They will waive him and cut him. He was an all-pro lineman for Seattle, has a Super Bowl ring with Seattle, has a Super Bowl ring with Denver. But I think they're done with him. They're going to move on from Okung. So when I look at some free agent names, I think there's just a few names out there that we haven't really talked about and that haven't really gotten a lot of pub. Adrian Peterson is going to be a very interesting cut. Darrelle Revis is going to be a very interesting cut. How to decide to work that or do that. Now that the court date has been pushed back past the roster bonus, they're in a real tough predicament. Okay, if we cut him, but we don't know what's going to happen with this ruling, this court ruling, then the NFL's got to do their investigation and do their punishment. I mean, if you really look at it, they have to pay him this roster bonus. I believe it's $11 million, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody double check that for me, please. That's in the chat room. I would greatly appreciate that. I believe it's in that range, though. If they have to pay him that roster million, $8 to $11 million, I believe. If they have to pay him that roster bonus, and then it comes out that he's, found some type of guilty, and the NFL does their investigation, he still walks away with his money. Not unless there's some loophole in the contract with the agent, but Most agents can't do that to their clients, man. They don't work for the team. They work for the client. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring on my man Dread from the X Squad here on Spreaker.com. VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct, Spreaker.com.
They telling me to vote, and I would if it make a change in my hood. Motherfucker. When you grow up in my hood, help don't show up in my hood. Gang signs go up in my hood. Just cause you in my hood. Feel like I'm trapped in my hood. Young kids get clapped in my hood. That's why I'm strapped in my hood. Just cause you in my hood. In my hood. In my hood. In my hood. Hey, my nigga, I got a special love for the hood, you know? They feel me like this is coming from a nigga who came from splitting heroes, to getting checks with 6 zeros, yeah. And like for real, I can't even see what's really hood no more, man. With these niggas, like, I don't know, maybe like it's for me. Real, like, I don't know. It's one thing to be from the hood, yeah, and it's another thing to be for the hood, A lot of these niggas is from the hood. Don't let them fool you, y'all. They ain't for the hood. You see him. I guess I'm a different type of nigga, you know? Guess so. I'm from the hood, and I'm for the hood too. Like for real. No, like for real. Real talk in New York.
Where was you at when I was trying to blow? Waste my money on weed farms. I was trying to grow. Niggas tried to eat on my block. I had to cock the foe. Ran down on them and told them niggas they gotta go. Had the triple fat goose on. It was kinda cold. I was on the block eating Mike and Nikes and Jolly Joes. Police asking me questions. I told them I don't know. You was in the precinct crying. You had the snotty nose. Had to run down on my connect. They playing dominoes. Backed them niggas down for that work and told them adios. Got my money up. I'm looking like King Joffy Joe. I ain't make panda, but I've been wearing designer clothes. Back on my bullshit. Mac with the full clip. Might have to just lose it. I'm quick to use it. Who you acting a fool with? Is y'all niggas stupid? Smacking a few pricks. Stacking a few bricks. This track is exclusive. Packing a huge. He packing a toothpick. I'm packing a pool stick. Mac as I move with. 40 caliber 2 grips. I'm faster than shoe shit. Faster to tie, they get madder and madder. They scatter. I shatter the glass when you knew. When maggots with loose lips. They kissing a cruise ship. I'm grabbing a new fit. Back with the movement. It's the fact you a true bitch. My status is cool. The cats I was cool with. Sending classes to school with. Keep out of confusion. Man, I refuse it. I think you rather diffuse it. You had to have to remove it. Lacking improvement. All you rappers included. I'm rapping Sharu. Bring engine pretenders. We're hitting the jitters. I'm giving them business.
I'ma take what's mine. I want more money, more power. Goddamn nigga, it's about that time. I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit. I said I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit. Hey, on my BSC platinum, they even died of Jesus. That's what poets say, killing them, that's an understatement. Same nigga used to move the blue Malibu. Soon as a nigga get money, they get mad at you. Sitting on a Hollywood sign, I ain't that of you. And all my bitches is loyal, they got a tattoo. I've been getting busy playing frisbee with the race. Everybody pissy with a Lizzie by the case. Could've bought a boat for the price of the wristwatch. Pulling dope at the time.
Like that Joe right there. VJ that's supposed to like Conduct. That's that Pat Poose and Fat Joe joint right there. Got my man Dread coming in from the X Squad here on Spreaker.com, man. Get his thoughts on NBA trade deadline. Some of the free agents in the NFL that'll be available, veteran cuts. Also, real quick, guys, college basketball heating up. I am going to have a 3 to 4 hour bracket breakdown show the following day, that Monday after the brackets are released after the conference championship games. I want to make sure I promote that because that is a big thing. That is a huge time of the year. And also, too, we're going to definitely get into our picks. We'll break the brackets down. I'm sorry, I was reading the text message from Dred. Dred's calling in a second, and he said he got until 5:30, so I'm not sure how long he think we going today. But 3 hour difference, so I guess so. Yeah, 3 hour difference, so it's almost 5 o'clock there. It's almost 2 o'clock here, so a good 30 minutes, and we'll wrap the show with that bad boy right there when he calls in. So that show, I want you guys all in that. That will be the following Monday after the tournament brackets get released. We'll do a bracketology show. I do one every year. Did one on my TV show on Sportsmanlike Conduct back on Nutmeg TV local cable access network television thing that I used to do back in the day, back in Farmington, Connecticut. So I'm very excited about that. My Tar Heels should be sent with a number 1 seed. I don't see anybody else that's going to beat them the rest of the year. I do believe they'll win their last 3 games. They have Florida State. They have UV. No, I'm sorry. They have Louisville. Nope, they don't play Louisville. I'm sorry. They have Florida State. They have Notre Dame, and they have Duke to finish it off at home. Then they'll go into the ACC tournament as the number 1 seed. They have a 2-game lead right now. All they have to do is win their game this weekend, and they win the ACC regular season, even if they lose their last 2. They have the tiebreaker over the next 3 teams below them that will finish up with the same amount of losses and wins than them with even records. So all they have to do is win on Saturday. So I guess I need to go get a bottle of champagne and get ready for a third straight, if I'm not mistaken, regular season ACC championship going into the tournament. So NCAA basketball is going in right now. This weekend we have Arizona, UCLA. That's going to be a great game. We saw Duke fall down to Syracuse at home on a bank shot at the buzzer from Syracuse guard that had 26 points, had 43 in another game. So college basketball is starting to heat up. Pay attention, guys. These games are coming down. These bubble teams, the best games to watch are the bubble games. The teams that are 17 and 12, paying the 18 and 13 team, those are the best games to watch right now because they're just trying to get in the tournament. Nobody wants to go to the NIT. Nobody wants to go to the NIT, man. That's almost like, man, let me tell you something, man. That's almost like going to D.C. for some mambo wings and fries and then being out, but then your homeboy girl swears she can make them at her crib just as good. So you got to go eat them joints. You gonna go eat them because you want some mambo wings and wings. You want some mambo sauce and wings, but at the same time, it's not the same. At the same time, it's not the same. My man Dredd from the X Squad is in the chat room and on the phone right now, man. Dredd coming in from the X Squad on Spreaker.com with all his other goonies over there. You got G Money, and you got it's the Fish, of course, and Greco and Big Vince in the building. So what's going on, Big Dredd? I got you, man. You there?
Bullshit.
You there? I got you, Dredd.
Hello?
Yo, you there? There you go. There you go. All right, I just want to make sure we got you. I couldn't hear you at first, man. Long time no talk to. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on? I'm back on my bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's my joint right there, man. When that joint dropped out recently, I was like, yo, man, let me see. Fat Joe. Yo, real quick sidebar. Has anybody withstood the test of time in hip-hop and been relevant consistently over the last 20 to 25 years than Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes? Can you think of anybody else but those 2 guys? All the eras that they have gone through.
That's it.
All the eras. They've gone through the bling era. They've gone through the East Coast, West Coast. They've gone through the tongue twisting rap. They've gone through the baggy clothes. They've gone through the ice era. They've gone through the throwback jersey era. Those 2 guys, man. And Busta was just on the Grammy stage with Tribe Called Quest. Those 2 gentlemen right there have stood the ups and downs at a tested time. Both those guys better get Lifetime Achievement Awards in about 5 to 10 years at one of these award shows.
Yeah, I agree. I like I said, I would also throw LL in that category, man. LL, he stood the test of time too, but just because of the lane that he created, you know what I'm saying, with pretty much just, you know, you got your core basic fan as ladies, and you still make, you know, other stuff that the fellas can rock to or whatever. But, you know, definitely, man. Busta Rhymes, definitely, man. I agree. Both of them should be should get Lifetime Achievement Award, man.
I don't agree. And LL's my dude. But I don't agree with LL because LL went to acting and he did make the album. I want to say the album with Headsprung and Hush and those dope tracks. I think that was 03, 04. That's 13 years ago, man. So I don't know if I would put LL. I don't think I would put LL on that list as far, because before then it had been a good 10 years that he had done a really hit album, and now he's just straight acting. These 2 brothers are like still rapping like now. I remember when I first heard Fat Joe when I was a freshman in high school. I first heard Busta Rhymes with Leaders of the New School when I was in the 6th grade. 5th and 6th grade, man. When he was with Leaders of the New School. That's a long time ago. And and just last weekend was on stage rapping and performing still to this day, still relevant in hip-hop. I want to start off with you, man, about the NBA trade deadline. I've already put my opinions out there. I'll throw my first question out to you is, anything that surprised you that did happen or didn't happen?
I'm a little surprised the D Rose trade didn't happen. D Rose for Rubio and whatever else they were trying to package. I'm definitely surprised that didn't happen. I think I'm surprised that Melo wasn't traded to the Clippers, because once the report started coming back that, you know, the Clippers, that the Knicks weren't even asking for any of the big three, and the trade still didn't get done, I'm just like, I don't know, something definitely don't seem right about that. But for the most part, I didn't think Paul George was going to get moved. Listen, realistically speaking, we didn't even start hearing anything about Paul George being traded until, seriously, 2 days before the deadline. There's no way in hell Larry Bird is going to allow himself to be fleeced. So, I didn't really take any stock into, Paul George to the Lakers or wherever else they were talking about. I'm also not really surprised Jimmy Butler didn't get traded. I am surprised Boston didn't pick somebody else. So maybe I am a little surprised Jimmy Butler. I thought Butler would have been a nice pickup for Boston, kind of play and take them over the top. But maybe Boston feels like, hey, we're only a couple games back, so at the very least we can challenge Cleveland. But I'm also surprised Washington. Washington surprised me. I felt like they're like one all-star away from really, really being able to go toe-to-toe with Cleveland. But other than that, man, it really was much ado about nothing, man. I didn't expect too many big movements to come out of this trade deadline.
Which is the fact for most trade deadlines. I agree with you on Boston. I thought Boston, now I will disagree. When everybody's talking this standings talk, they're only a few games behind. Cleveland's not going to need the number one seed to come out of the East. I think some other teams might need the number one seed to come out of the East, but unless Cleveland falls to 3, then I would still think that Cleveland's going to come out of the East. I thought Boston choked, and I thought Chicago choked. Chicago is showing you that they're breaking this whole thing up by letting Noah go as a free agent and trading Derrick Rose. They moved Taj Gibson. They moved Doug McDermott, who I'm telling people right now, man, that's Wally Zerbiak's love child. Wally Zerbiak had a kid out of wedlock, and we never heard about it. His kid is Doug McDermott, man. The dude looked just like him, and I won't believe anything different. I don't care if somebody even
play just like him too.
Yeah, exactly. Play just exactly like him. So you can see that they're really trying to reset that, but you can't reset if you don't move the major piece. And the major piece is Jimmy Butler. And my thoughts on Jimmy Butler, man, my thoughts on Jimmy Butler is like my thoughts on Paul George. Good player, great player to some people, but I don't think championship player. When I look at Jimmy Butler, he's not a guy that I say, I can win a championship with Jimmy. Yeah, I can win a championship with Jimmy if I already have, maybe Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis, or maybe it's Butler and Cousins and maybe Russ Westbrook, maybe a trio like that. But if you're asking me if he goes to Boston, I would think, he's either their best player or he's 1B with Isaiah. So they still don't have a 3. They still don't have a third guy who can go get that 30 for you. Because when you have that triple threat nowadays, some night somebody's got to go get 30. Or all 3 got to score over 20. Can't have 2 at 22 and then one guy at 6. That doesn't work in the NBA nowadays. So I agree with you. I thought both those teams choked. I was surprised that they weren't moved and that deal wasn't made done, because Chicago probably could have got the draft pick that they were looking for it. And I'm not sure why it broke down. I know I'm hearing stories that Boston didn't want to part with Avery Bradley. I can get that. Great defender on the wing. Really good three-point shooter, so I understand that. But the Knicks, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I'm glad they didn't make the Melo deal. Melo to the Clippers does not make them better than the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. And I think they did right by staying pat. And when it comes to the Knicks, until Dolan gets out of the way, man, it really doesn't matter what they do.
Well, when I was talking about the Melo to the Clippers, I was really talking about it from more of the Clippers standpoint of it. Yes, Melo on the Clippers doesn't make them better than Golden State or San Antonio. But at the same time, you figure Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, I think both are going to be free agents at the end of this year. So you run into a situation where if nobody decides to go there in the offseason, no major free agent or, a couple of decent bench guys that they can pick up, you run the risk of losing Chris Paul. You run the risk of losing Blake Griffin, either or, if not both, for absolutely nothing. So I think, just at least to stay packed, the Warriors have beaten the Clippers 10 straight freaking games, man. 10 games in a row, the Warriors have beaten the Clippers. So you figure it's another year where the Clippers are not going to advance out of the second round of the playoffs. If they can even get out of the first round of the playoffs this year, depending on who they ended up getting matched up with. So with that being said, I was really looking at it, not really from the Knicks standpoint. I don't think the Knicks would have gotten any better. They probably wouldn't have gotten any worse either. So, but with that being said, though, I really thought LA was going to, especially when the report came out that the Knicks weren't asking for any one of the stars. I figured you could have moved maybe a JJ Redick, Austin Rivers, and package another player or a pick in there, and you can get Melo. They weren't asking for the house, so but we'll see though. The Clippers still gonna be where they're at. Come late May and early June, and they'll be seeing what happens in the offseason, hoping that they can keep their stars.
Also, a beat writer for the Clippers also told me that they didn't want to part with J.J. Redick. I think that was the sticking point. It wasn't about the stars. In today's game, you just cannot give up a dead-eye three-point shooter who's pretty much always healthy, never hurt, never complaining, good locker room guy, good chemistry guy. You just can't give those guys up, and I think they're enamored with the kid, and I know the fans out here like him a lot, and I think that was the sticking point there with them. Magic Johnson takes over the Lakers. I've been avid about telling everybody I'm excited about it because I like Magic Johnson. I always have. I love his business mind, his business sense. I think this is a great move. I love the fact that I sat and watched the interview out here that most people don't get because the Lakers have their own channel. So, of course, I watched the national coverage, and everybody's like, oh, they're just trying to turn the clock back, Showtime. I sat and watched the hour-long interview with him, Jeannie Buss, and the two guys that run a show out here called Lakers Backstage Access that comes on the Laker Network out here in Los Angeles. They both were very adamant about this is not about turning about the clock. We are not trying to recreate Showtime. We are trying to just have one voice and get this franchise back on track. We believe we have some young players. Let's get a different voice in here, some different people, and see if we can get these guys focused and see what we got. I thought they were smart to stay put. Most people wanted Ingram. Ingram was in the talks with Sacramento for Cousins a week ago, and that fell through. When Divock and Magic talked, he wanted Ingram. Magic was not trying to give up Ingram, so that's why that fell through. Your thoughts on the Lakers' future? Magic taking the position, Kobe's agent, Rob Pelinka, who, sidebar real quick, if people don't know, Rob Pelinka was actually on the Fab Five team. He was the little white guard that would come off the bench and hit some threes. Yeah. And after Jalen left, he was actually the starting point guard for them after Jalen Rose left. So Rob Pelinka, Kobe's agent, a lot of other...
Pelinka was a starter before they got there, too.
Okay, all right, cool. So, and then, because Jalen did 2 years, right?
Yeah, Jalen did 2. I think Juwan did 2.
Did 2. Weber did, and Weber...
Jalen did 3.
3, you're right, because Weber did 2.
Yeah, Weber did 2.
Weber did 2, and Jalen and Juwan did 3. But your thoughts on the Lakers?
I'm excited for the Lakers, man. I really don't think this is about trying to bring back Showtime or nothing like that. I really think this is a move that probably should have been done a year or two ago, but for whatever reason, Jeannie Buss was giving her brother all the opportunity in the world to right the ship, and he basically didn't do it. You figure the Lakers aren't supposed to be in the position that we even are in now. A lot of people complain about the Kobe contract. I say no one was coming anyway. You got to spend the cap money, and not to mention the fact, because of the Kobe contract, we were able to get Julius Randle, we were able to get Brandon Ingram, and we were able to get D'Angelo Russell. So without that, the Lakers, they were really expecting us to be good when they re-signed Kobe, and we just so happened to suck it up so bad that we ended up getting draft picks out of it. But with Magic being there, I really think we at least get meetings. You know what I'm saying? KD didn't even give a meeting to the Lakers. LaMarcus Aldridge, he walked out of a meeting with the Lakers when he was a free agent before he went to San Antonio. Came back for a second meeting just out of the respect for the Lakers and said it really wasn't any different than the first damn meeting. You know what I'm saying? So I think the move should have been done, but better late than never. I'm very excited. I think Magic will turn the tables around. He said he's going to give 150%. He's got people in place to run his other businesses. I think this is, I mean, he didn't come in here trying to sell no wolf tickets. You know, he said this is going to be a process. It's going to take a couple years. And off the bat, he got rid of Lou Williams so we can basically tank the rest of the season and try to keep our top 3 protected picks.
And I agree with you with that. I definitely think moving Lou Williams for the first round pick is going to be good in trade bait later on. Paul George has let it be known that he wants to come back home. He's from Palmdale. Actually, my fiance's mother lives in Palmdale, out in that Lancaster area. It's right outside L.A. It's not L.A. County. You're out, I think it's Ventura County or San Fernando County. But it's about 45 minutes outside of L.A., it's almost like living in Fredericksburg, but coming back home to play for the Wizards. So it's about that type of distance. So we know that's going to happen. I think Magic did a great move by saying, you know what? We're not getting to the playoffs right now with them, and we're not winning anything right now with them. I'll take my chances in spending the money as a free agent to get them where I don't have to give up the young pieces. Because I know a lot of people, especially out here, they love their young pieces so much, but they were trying to trade everybody. No, Jim Buss was trying to save his job. He knew it was coming down. He knew Magic, and in an interview, too, they let a lot out. Jeannie, they initially talked months back when Jeannie Buss's relationship, when she broke up with Phil Jackson, and she said the first person she called to console her was Magic, because Magic is more, she said Magic's like a brother. She's like, this is like my brother. We literally grew up in the NBA together. He came here as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old. I was a young, older teenager myself. He's always been my big brother. So this thing has been in the woodwork. I think Jim knew it. That's why he was trying to mortgage off. He said, Randall's on the board and Russell's on the board. It creates the narrative that, those guys aren't that good. The Lakers are trying to trade them. No, those 2 guys were trying to save their job. If they wanted to move any of those 3 guys, Magic could have moved any of those 3 guys he wanted in the 4 days he had the job leading up. So I thought they did a smart thing by staying, because I think Ingram's going to be great. I think Ingram is going to be outstanding. I watch a few plays here and there in Laker games, and there's sometimes you look and you go, okay, he's a rookie. Rookie's going to do that. He has the, his mind is moving faster than his body, so that's why he fumbled that ball out of bounds. I think it's the same thing with Jahlil Okafor. I tell people all the time, I watched that guy play courtside in person back-to-back nights before. That kid is a monster. When he learns footwork and he learns how to use his size and move guys around and maneuver around guys, he's going to be a great player. But you got to have coaching and people there to do that in order to get that, to get that type of process going. But I think Ingram is gonna be really, really good. You mentioned Washington. You don't like Washington didn't do anything. Why not?
I mean, let's keep it 100. Before the trade deadline, what did everybody say? All right, it's going to be Cavs versus Warriors, and the only team that we really thought had a shot of not making it out of those 2 is a team that most people would think is the actual better team. That's the Warriors. Nobody ever thought that anybody was going to contend with LeBron and them in the East. We see Boston do their thing, and we say, yeah, they're doing their thing, but can they really beat LeBron and them in the best of 7?
They ain't got a shot. They ain't got a shot in hell.
Exactly. And then we see this late emergence of Washington right before the All-Star break. They catching fire. They win games in a row, consecutive games in a row. John Wall is looking amazing. Bradley Beal. Just a minute ago, they were saying that these 2 weren't happy with each other. Now all of a sudden, they look like a dynamic duo together and stuff. So I felt like Washington, I don't know what really they could have given up to get what they would have needed, but I don't think they're ready. Put them up against Cleveland in the 7-game series. I think they're lucky to win 2 games. I think they needed to get one more player. It didn't have to be a big, maybe they could have used somebody like a Todd Gibson. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like a Todd Gibson who, Todd Gibson's not too old. He's not a spring chicken anymore either. But it's a big body down there to help you down low, take some fouls, grab some boards, make it tough for somebody like Kevin Love. You can also move around. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought Washington would have tried to do something to get somebody, even somebody on the level of Al Horford somebody who maybe was an all-star a year or two ago and still not that far removed from their prime would have helped them a lot, but it didn't happen.
When you look at that Sacramento deal,
I'm not even sure if Washington could beat Toronto after Toronto done picked up Serge Ibaka.
I agree with that too. And Washington needs to get better on defense anyway. If you had to put a gun to my head and tell me could they get out of the first or second round, I tell you my answer would be they got to play defense first, and then if they start playing defense, then I give you a better answer. The answer to me right now is no, because they don't play defense, and it depends on whether they end up at the 2, the 3, the 4. I mean, that 4 or 5 matchup can be really testy. That could be really tricky with the Atlanta Hawks. And last year, I don't know if you remember the show, but Boston was the 4, Atlanta was the 5. I told people Atlanta's going to win in 6. Boston's not winning that series. They're not ready. They haven't been there. Atlanta is coming off of going to the Eastern Conference Finals the year before. Still had a lot of those pieces that they've kind of, separated and broke away now. And I picked that series correct last year. The DeMarcus Cousins trade, I am big on Sacramento. Won this deal. You and I've talked sports before. You know how I feel. I'm the kind of guy that I love chemistry. I love great chemistry in life. Normally, the most successful things have the best chemistry. In your opinion, who won that trade? Right now.
I think New Orleans. I think New Orleans did. I think New Orleans definitely did. People can say whatever they want to say about DeMarcus Cousins, but the truth of the matter is, we're looking at Sacramento as an organization. They really haven't been relevant since Chris Webber. They had Hassan Whiteside, he's gone. They had Isaiah Thomas, he's gone. So I don't see the difference in saying, okay, yeah, well, DeMarcus Cousins didn't make the playoffs. Guess what? Look at Hassan Whiteside now. Look at Isaiah Thomas now. So it's safe to say that star players or borderline star players leave Sacramento and actually get better. I mean, when's the last time Sacramento's had anything respectable of a team? You really got to go back a long time to think of the last time they've been respectable. So I don't want to sit here and blame DeMarcus Cousins. That's like saying, being the best team, being the best player right now playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. I figure, okay, now he's in a better situation. Now, granted, I mean, Sacramento was actually ahead of New Orleans in the playoff race. That's another thing. So, I mean, but we weren't hearing those same things about Anthony Davis. They were worse off than Sacramento was, but we hear these things about Boogie Cousins because of the technical fouls and because people say he's, imposing his big will and all that stuff is fine. But I think he's in a better situation. He hasn't came out and said anything negative publicly about Sacramento, the organization, even though they tried to do that to him. They tried, we had a better deal, ask the agents why they say this and why they say that, all that good stuff. Cousins never came out and said anything bad about Sacramento. So I still feel, realistically speaking, it remains to be seen. And yeah, New Orleans got smoked by 30 last night, and Sacramento actually won their game. So it's easy to say right now. Sacramento got the better end of that deal. But they got rid of Cousins, man, for absolutely. A box of Tic Tacs and a ticket to the game that was already played last week.
See, I don't agree. I 100% don't agree. Number one, what they did do is they got rid of bad chemistry. That's what they did do. And I'm a firm believer that you have to have good chemistry in pro sports and college sports to win championships. You could be good. You may win some games. You're going to make some money. You might win a division or something. But championships, you need good chemistry. I don't think there's a price on good chemistry, just like there's not a price on loyalty. There's not a price on being faithful. There's not a price on love. There's not a price on chemistry.
But where was the chemistry before he was there? That's what I'm saying. Where was the chemistry before he was there? We can't just stockpile it all on him now.
They had some stadium issues, and Kevin Johnson was trying to get the team and buy the team, and Shaq was even trying to buy the team. They've had some things there, but you can't tell me that when you have you can't tell me when you have a bad chemistry guy that it's not going to disrupt the front office, because there's always people who like him and there's people who don't. And I'm a firm believer, just like it splits a locker room, I'm a firm believer that it splits a front office. And I think some of this got to the point where some people, oh no, we're keeping him. And then some people are like, no, we're not. We need to get this guy out of here. And let's be real, man. At home, they both scored 25 plus over double rebounds last night and lose by 30. The Pelicans lost by 30 last night. And both your star players both did what they do. One had 27-13, other one had 25-11 or something, or 25-12 or something like that. They lost by 30, bruh. What did Sacramento go out and do last night? You don't have this superstar. Everybody passed, and I'm not judging it off one game, but you can't tell me that you should go out and lose by 30 when you now have.
Well, here's the thing. Just like you said, chemistry is one thing. But we're talking about a team who was already worse than Sacramento in the Pelicans. They were already worse than Sacramento record-wise. And then they're going up against one of the top, 3 teams in the Western Conference. We'll call Houston at least the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
With an MVP candidate on their squad, and they got a good team. And not to mention, they had Lou Williams, who just coming fresh off a trade, coming out there and lead the team in scoring. You know what I mean? I mean, come on now. All right, they got blown out, but are we really taking that much from the Cavs getting blown out by the Warriors? No, it was one game. Whether you lose by 30 or whether you lose by 13, it's still a loss. But yes, it doesn't look good. We don't know how well. When I say New Orleans won, I'm saying this: Sacramento's still probably not going to make the playoffs. New Orleans.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. I want to go there. I want to double or nothing. Let's double or nothing our Seattle-Atlanta bet. All right, let's double or nothing our Seattle-Atlanta divisional game playoff bet. I say Sacramento now goes on a little mini run these last 24 games. I say they finish 17-7, and they make the playoffs.
So you say they make the playoffs, and the Pelicans don't?
Absolutely not. The Pelicans have no shot. They're gonna have. I honestly believe, because you did lose 2 guards. Collison can't really stay healthy, and sometimes he falls in and out of his groove. And I bashed on Buddy Hill, and I'm still gonna stand on Buddy Hill. But the one thing that he still can do, the one thing he still can do is Buddy Hill can still line up a shot and drill a shot. And I think you still need that, especially in today's game. I think we both will agree with that. I got them making the playoffs, and let's double or nothing that Atlanta Seattle bet. They're only a game. They're not far. They're not far apart.
No, they're only about a game and a half, maybe 2 games apart.
Exactly. So they're basically we can say they're even. So it's a fair. I think that's a fair bet. I think that's a fair bet.
I mean, that's definitely a fair bet, because regardless if Sacramento has a couple of games better record, you assuming that, all right, New Orleans has the better players because they got 2 All-Stars. They got so yeah, that's even. That's even. They should be able. New Orleans should be able. I believe should be able to surpass Sacramento and get themselves into the playoffs.
They're at Dallas.
So yeah,
they're at Dallas, and then they're at OKC. Now here is their March schedule. This is the Pelicans. Now this is the Pelicans' March schedule: home Detroit, home Spurs, at Lakers, at Utah, home Toronto, at Charlotte. So there's a West Coast swing game right there. Back home to Portland, at Miami, back to the West. Houston, Minnesota, Memphis. Then they got a 3-game stretcher at Denver, at Houston, at Utah, Dallas, and then they're home for the Kings. That's going to be beautiful. And then if I jump to April real quick, April, they finish up with 4 on their. Listen to their last 6 games in April. April 2nd through the 12th. Home Chicago, home Denver, at Golden State, at the Lakers, at Portland. That's going to be their doom right there. They finish up.
Man, they definitely got their work cut out for them.
They finish up. Hold on, let me count this up right here. This is good stuff right here. Let me count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I go to the end, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They finish up with, let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 road games. Oh, wow. Out of their last 11, 7 are on the road. And those 7 road games are at Houston, loss, at Denver, win, at Utah, loss, at Denver, loss. At Golden State, loss. At the Lakers, win. At Portland, loss. I think that's where they'll be doomed. They play 7 of their last 11 games.
But we're assuming, but we're making assumptions, though. We don't know if this, at this point in time, how far Golden State may or may not be ahead. They may rest a player or two.
True.
You know, we're talking the end of the season now. Now, granted, San Antonio is going to be on their heels, so more than likely they're going to have to play the season out. But we don't necessarily know that. But they definitely got their work cut out for them. I mean, hell, DeMarcus Cousins, he still got, 1 year left on his contract?
Yep.
I think New Orleans also did this to try to make Anthony Davis happy, to say, hey, we're trying to do something to get you some kind of help here. You know, so you want to keep your star player happy. What's Sacramento's schedule looking like, though?
That's what I was going to right now while you was just chatting. That's what I was about to jump to right now. Give me one quick second. While I'm looking this up, let me ask you this. There's these stories coming out of Sacramento that their GM is really, really enamored with Buddy Hield. I've said my thoughts about Buddy Hield and what I think about college players that get hot and, you know, kind of late and they're in the season and in the tournament. We get enamored with that. We fall in love with it. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't pan out. Am I banging on Buddy Hield a little too much, or do you see something in him that the Sacramento front office made it a point to say they wanted him in this deal?
Yeah, and I heard that they're kind of were comparing his skill set to one of Steph Curry. Now, here's what I'll say. I think Buddy Hield is a great player. You know, I mean, he's a great collegiate player. But at the same time, when you look at what the scouts look at, and you don't necessarily, you know, always go by what the scouts look at and what the scouts say, but when you really look at it, Buddy Hield had his coming out party as a senior. This is not what we see anymore in college basketball. We're normally seeing guys play 1 year and they're gone. Maybe some guys will stay for a second year, you know, lead their team deep into their tournament, and then they go ahead and leave. So with Buddy Hield, I mean, yes, he can make some buckets. He seems like, you know, it's still yet to see. We don't know if he's going to be a streaky shooter, because that's what he was in college. You know, when he got hot, he got hot. If he was off, he was just off. He can also go to the hole, you know, good ball handle skills and all of that stuff. But, I mean, you never know, because there are guys like Kemba Walker who get hot in the playoffs, I mean, in the NCAA tournament, and they end up making an all-star team. But then for every Kemba Walker, there's a Shabazz Napier who ends up, you know, basically being something in the league for what we thought he might have been from that magical run he had with UConn. So you never really know. But I mean, for him going to Sacramento, I think, you know, he's going to get playing time. So he's going to get time to grow. He's going to get time to shoot a lot, because the organization already expressed, you know, their little love affair for him. So I think that's a good fit for him.
I'm going to let you go on this, because I know you got to run. Multiple questions all rolled into one. NFL veteran cuts that you like or you may see coming, or teams that should be jumping on guys, and some of the free agents that we're not talking about a lot. I gave a list of few: Malcolm Butler, Chandler Jones, Deshaun Jackson, Kenny Stills, Alshon Jeffrey, JPP, Romo, Cousins, Le'Veon Bell. Over the next week or so, things will calm down, because we know we have the Combine next weekend. Things normally do quiet down right before the Combine, but we know March 9th is the free agent period. We know that's when trades can be made and be made official, and free agents can start being shopped around to other teams. Anything you see out there, anything grab your interest, you're intrigued, what you would like to see the Eagles, just the NFL landscape as a whole. Finish it up there.
Let's see. I got some more time. I'm already in the car. You ain't hear me cut it off, so we good.
Okay.
But, yeah, as far as the NFL goes with my Eagles, I think and I don't know if it's just me being a fan or, you know, if I'm really on to something here. I think the Eagles need to go after Deshaun Jackson. He was saying, yeah, it would be a nice story and all that stuff, but of course he didn't say, yeah, this is what I want to do. So, and they say that the Eagles are being active.
Yo, man, where the hell? Hey, hold on real quick. Where the hell are you driving? You keep going in and out. You in the woods, man? You hunting?
Nah, I ain't in the woods. I'm just leaving the neighborhood.
Your neighborhood got shitty reception.
Hey, it be like that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Not if you got good old Cricket Wireless. I never lose reception.
Oh, I'm on that Metro plan. I've been hearing about cricket, man. I might have to check them dudes out, but I don't want to lose my phone number.
Cricket, Metro. Is it Metro? Aren't they owned by Kellogg's cereal now? That ain't no phone company now.
You said Kellogg's cereal.
And sidebar real quick. All you need, because I worked in the phone industry for 10 years, all you need to keep your phone number is your account number from Metro. They text it to you every month when they text you about your bill. That account number that's in there, that's all you need to go over to Cricket with, man, and your passcode, and they can port your phone number over in 5 minutes. Just so you know.
Oh, well, I'm gonna check the dudes out there.
There you go.
But yeah, I definitely wanted the Eagles to go after Deshaun Jackson. I heard we were looking at Martellus Bennett. That'll be a big pickup too. I mean, if Carson Wentz, he's still got a lot of damn growing to do. But it's easier. I mean, you look at Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's the best in the world. I know you're a fan of Kirk Cousins, but you put a whole bunch of weapons around him, and he's definitely going to do. He's not Jay Cutler. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely going to do good. So I heard they're trying to look at McCoy too, but of course he's still under contract. But they're saying that the Bills are wanting him to restructure, so they might even look for a trade or just outright cut him. But there's a lot of teams that need some things. We got the whole Tony Romo thing, and where's he going to go, and what's he going to do? What do you think about the whole Romo thing?
I wrote some names down. Matter of fact, I think I still have the notes from the other day. I wrote some teams down that I think he fits well on, and that I think are in a position to bring Romo in and be ready to compete right away. Let me see if I can find it really quick, because I had some good stuff down about Romo and where Romo would fit and where he can go. I have no idea where that notepad. Here we go, right here. Here we go. I got it. My apologies. I got it right here. Excellent. So with Tony Romo, I had 4 teams written down. First teams are kind of the obvious. I had Denver Broncos, top 3 defense, 2 1,000-yard receivers. I just think that the division is really tough. And in cold weather with a glass collarbone, you're going to have to play cold games in Denver. You're going to have to go to Kansas City late in the year, because they always have Denver and Kansas City play late in the year. No matter where it is, it's going to be cold. Let's say you have to take a trip to New England, because normally Denver plays New England at some point in the season. That could be later. Denver at Pittsburgh. That could be a cold game. Denver at the Jets. I'm just trying to find AFC teams in cold regions. That could be a trip-up game or a game you don't want to see him in. So, but I also thought the Houston Texans seem to be the most logical place, because they need a quarterback bad. They don't even have one. You have Lamar Miller at the running back position. You have a number 1 receiver in Hopkins. You have a young stud at tight end. You have, I can't forget Fuller, the other receiver's name Fuller. You got Fuller. You have the number 1 ranked defense in the league. So the defense can hold it down. Romo doesn't have to go out and throw 40, 50 times a game, score 35 points to win football games. Their division is much easier. Colts, Jags, Titans, I think they can win that. So I like there. I also thought about Kansas City, because Kansas City at some point is going to have to realize that Alex Smith is just not going to win you a playoff game, or he's not going to be able to win you a big playoff game. It's just not what he does. They have tons and tons of weapons. Defense is also top 10. But once again, if I said it for Denver, I got to say it for KC. They play in the cold weather games. Cold weather places late in the year. They were really good this year, so look for them to probably play Pittsburgh this year, probably play New England this year. There's always going to be another good AFC team that they're going to play, because they were a divisional round. That's how they work out those other 2 games. You play your 6 conference games, and then you play your 4 off-conference games, and then those other 4 games are 2 NFC games and 2 AFC games that the NFL just likes to kind of mix up and throw in there for matchup purposes. And then a team that I brought up was also to the Minnesota Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater has not started any football stuff at all. I got a source in Minnesota that tells me that injury was way more worse than people thought it was going to be. Dislocated kneecap and torn ACL, MCL, pretty much destroyed his knee. He's not done any football stuff. It's already going into March. He probably won't play this year. It might be a reason for you to try to restructure AP, because Tony Romo could turn a hand to AP. So maybe you keep Adrian Peterson that way, or maybe you cut Adrian Peterson and then try to re-sign him back. So those 4 teams I thought of. But you know what team I heard recently that has me rolling? I'm praying, Dredd. I'm praying to the sports gods. I hope Tony Romo signs with the nation's capital, Washington Redskins. I want that move to happen so bad. Because the way Redskin fans have talked about this guy over his career with Dallas for so many years, and the Redskins put the story out, they are legitimately interested in Tony Romo. Now, you don't have the weapons there. They don't have a running game. I don't believe in Matt Jones. You let Alfred Morris get away. And boy, if you're Alfred Morris, how bad did that move look for you? You go to Dallas, they draft a guy, and he takes over and wins the rushing title, and Darren McFadden's getting more carries than you. So those were teams I looked at. I think those are the only places he can go. He's not going to go to Chicago. I know he's a Northern Illinois guy. He's not going to go to Chicago. I don't see him going to any middle-of-the-road team. Tony Romo needs to go somewhere where they're a quarterback away from winning. They have weapons on offense, and they have defense. Speaking of the Chiefs, off sidebar too, they just signed C.J. Spiller. So now the Chiefs have added another speed weapon on offense. I think Kansas City would be a great spot for him. I just think the division's really tough, and I think playing in cold weather would hurt him late in the year.
Let me see. I like that Minnesota one. I think if Bridgewater's not ready, that'd be a good look. But they're probably going to stay with Bradford. What we had at the end of the season.
Why? Why though? Why are you staying with Bradford? Why? Why would they do that, Dre?
I wouldn't agree with it. I wouldn't agree with it at all. But I just feel like they would, probably because they'll take continuity, yada, 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 yada. I mean, with both of them the same guy, we don't really expect either one of them to stay healthy all season, although I guess Sam Bradford did last year. But with Romo, you figure, well, shit, they're both of them, but they're one hit away. I like the Jets. I think the Jets are also a quarterback away from being able to, possibly compete for a wild card. They got a good defense, of course. They need to, what do you expect the defense to do when the offense can't score and the defense is on the field all day game? Of course, they're going to give a point. I do like Kansas City. The reason why I don't like Denver is because Denver's offensive line is shaky at best, and then they got to play Kansas City twice a year. So that's definitely, they got to play Kansas City twice a year. That's definitely, I don't know about Denver unless they get a running back to go with them. And they're going to turn around and hand the ball on 35 times a game. I don't know if that's the best fit for Romo because he's always one hit away. I think Kansas City, I agree with you on Alex Smith. He's never going to get you there. He'll take you to the playoffs, but he's not the type of guy that's going to win you a game. He's just the type of guy that's more than likely not going to lose you one. When the Chiefs lose, people who know football, they'll say, Alex Smith is just going to be what Alex Smith is. He's not going to throw the ball more than 25 yards down the field most of the time. He's going to run and slide before he takes the sack. He's not going to throw many interceptions. He's always going to be, maybe the low teens to maybe 10 to 12 interceptions per year. His stats are going to look good. He's not going to have a whole bunch of yards. But with that receiver they had come out of nowhere last year at the end of the season, he did start throwing the ball down the field. But definitely I think Romo will be a good fit. Andy Reid's familiar with him. He played him twice a year for many years when he was coaching Philly. I think Kansas City will be the best fit, and I also want to see what he looked like in with the Jets.
I don't know about the Jets. You have to convince me on that one. You got to give me more than just putting the name out there. You got to give me some reasons why. What do you like Forte? You like the running game behind him? You like having Brandon Marshall
I think the combination. I think Decker coming back healthy. Decker, I think, is, to me, people might rag me for it, but a healthy Eric Decker, at least we can say for the last 4 seasons, a healthy Eric Decker is probably top 10 number 2 receiver. Top 10, maybe number 2. Maybe at the very least top 15 number 2. So with Eric Decker, Brandon Marshall, finally having a Pro Bowl quarterback, one you can say, all right, I think we've moved past the late game mistakes from Romo. We probably moved past that, and now we're just on to the whole injury thing. So between that, they got Matt Forte. I don't know if they keep him Bilal Powell or not, but they got a running game, and they got a defense. So a healthy running game helps keep the defense off the field. You don't have Fitzpatrick out there. You got Tony Romo. Brandon Marshall will be happy. I think, Enunwa came out of nowhere. The 3 of those guys, Decker, Enunwa, and Marshall, I think that makes a nice receiving core for somebody like Tony Romo.
Okay, all right. You convinced me a little bit. I like what you're saying. And Anua, you're right. He came out of nowhere, and that guy is a bona fide stud. So if you break it down that way, Bilal Powell, they decide to keep him. We know Matt Forte. We know the lifespan of a running back starts at about 30, 31 because of the pounding that they take. Down after down after down. So I'll go with you there. I'm going to throw some free agents at you, and I'm going to tell you some teams I like, and you tell me what you think. I want to start with Deshaun Jackson, because Deshaun Jackson, to me, I think is the most quiet, but can actually turn your offense around the minute he walks in the door, free agent. The teams I have, Bucks, Pats, Seattle, Giants, Steelers. What do you think about those? Dred, you there? We lose him? Yeah, we might have lost him. I don't know where that's that Metro. Guys, don't get Metro. Don't get Metro PCS.
You there, VJ?
Oh, you there? Okay, yeah, I was about to start talking. I'm here. You there?
My bad. I had the phone on mute by accident.
Oh, okay. I was about to start talking. I was about to start talking shit about your Metro PCS phone.
No, I think Seattle will be real dangerous with somebody like Deshaun Jackson. What Deshaun Jackson does automatically is improve your running game, because you can't just load the box up. You know what I mean? You got a competent quarterback. You got him out there. He's going to beat any DB in a flat-out foot race. You want to play him, 7, 8, 9 yards. You throw him a quick screen, get him out in open space. He's also one of the best punt returners in the league, and has been top at punt returns in the league since he's been in the league. So he's going to improve the running game. He's definitely going to improve the passing game. Guys, when you got a guy who can take the top off of a defense, all of a sudden your guys who don't have the greatest speed, they tend to get favorable coverage, because you might take two guys and say, hey, watch Deshaun Jackson over here for these couple plays. Then you got somebody like a Doug Baldwin, who now is not going to be your number one every single down. He might be lined up against a linebacker. You might be able to put him in the slot, line him up against a safety or something where it's an uneven matchup. And then let's not forget, they still got Jimmy Graham out there. So I think, Deshaun Jackson in Seattle, they automatically have a dynamic offense, again, like they did when they had Beast Mode. You see what Beast Mode did for that passing game, and I think Deshaun Jackson can do the same thing for the running game for Seattle to actually get back to where it was when they had Beast Mode. Who else? I like him on the Bucks.
The Bucks have made it. Jameis Winston has made it very clear he wants the front office to get him. Jameis Winston has made that very clear.
Yeah, I mean, you figure him and Mike Williams. You got your Mike Williams is going to go up and get it. Mike Williams can also, he's not really going to blow anybody out the water, but, he'll take the top off of the defense a little bit sometimes. But when you add Deshaun Jackson to the mix of a Mike Williams, then you're just like, oh, my God, it's pick your poison. Are we going to let Mike Williams go over the top and go over the middle and catch deep posts because we got to worry about Deshaun Jackson? Or are we going to focus on Mike Williams and have Deshaun Jackson just take, catch 180 yards in seven receptions because he's just so dynamic? I think that's definitely a good look. That'll be also good for Jameis, man, help him grow. I'm not sure if Jameis really has. He's never had a receiver like Deshaun Jackson. So I think he'll be dynamic out there, man.
No, he's never had a receiver. And then you got to remember, Brate, the tight end, the Pro Bowl tight end, you add Brate in there to that. Brate gets open and works the intermediate. Now, the running game wakes up a little bit more. Jameis Winston's a big guy, big arm. He's a winner. He's a leader. I like that one right there. I also threw the Pats, but I don't know if he is mentally mature enough in his career right now to understand that it's not about him. And you're not going to get big money here, but you are going to play in the AFC Championship game, guaranteed, unless Brady gets hurt. You're going to play in the AFC Championship game. Not only are you going to play in the AFC Championship game, you're probably going to go to the Super Bowl. So is it about money to him right now, or has he made enough and put enough away and invested and done enough in businesses or whatever to make the money grow that now you can just really go chase a ring. Steelers, because Big Ben moves around so much. That's why I thought Seattle, because Russell runs around so much. We see, you and I have talked about Antonio Brown. The debate you and I keep having is, you think he's number one in the league? I say no, because when you play with Ben's able to really move around a lot, prolong plays. You can only cover for so long, and he's just really good about breaking off routes. But if you add Deshaun to that, could you imagine how many Ben scrambles where he just leans back and slings it as hard as he can, because D Jackson's like 4 yards behind the defensive back, 60 yards downfield already? I mean, there's a lot of that that can happen there. I also threw the Giants out there. Because I like Sterling, but at the same time, if I could bring in Deshaun, Sterling's just got to slide to the 3. But now you're looking at Sterling, Beckham, and Deshaun Jackson. That's why I thought those teams.
And which one of them will beat the Jam?
Say that again.
Which one of those 3 receivers, if you add him to the Giants receiver core, is going to beat the Jam coverage?
That'll beat the jam. Well, Deshaun's in the slot. Can't jam in the slot. You put Deshaun and Sterling in the slots. They can't jam in the slot. And if you do,
can't jam in the slot.
And if you do, then you're sacrificing the tight end release. If you do, you're sacrificing the tight end release.
I'm going to side towards you. Normally, you're biased towards the bigger receiver, and this is one of the times where I'm going to be biased towards the bigger receiver. I don't think. And I mean, of course, this isn't necessarily true, but I'm not so sure how deep a team is going to go in the playoffs if you got 3 receivers on your squad. Your 3 main receivers are all 6 feet and under.
Okay. I could go with that, but there was a team that did it before by the St. Louis Rams. Isaiah Hakeem, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce. They're all under 6 feet tall. None of those guys are bigger than 6 feet, 6'1".
Yeah, they also had Marshall Faulk.
True. And the Giants don't have a Marshall Faulk. Next name. This is an interesting one for me. It really is, because it looks like he could stay home, but he might just say, "Listen, I got a ring. It's hard in this division, man. Like, we won 11 damn games and still had to go on a road." What do you see JPP? I got for JPP New England or the Cardinals, because I believe the Cardinals are going to lose Chandler Jones.
If I'm JPP and I got to pick between those 2 teams, I'm definitely going New England. Well,
or stay home with the Giants. You could pick stay home too. If you think he's going to stay home with the Giants, you can have that one too. I just want to see what you think about the 3 teams.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd like to see JPP stay with the Giants. He's does he have 1 or 2? Does he have both Super Bowl rings with them, or just 1?
I think only 1. I don't think he's got that 07 one. That would have been 7 years ago. Has he been in the league? I think he's only in League 6.
I think he has. I think he was. Yeah, he was there. I think that might have been one of his first years.
So he's got 2 rings.
Yeah, he's already got the rings. He could be the type of guy to say, "Hey, well, I've already got 2. I'm still young. I'll prove my worth. Let me go sign with somebody like New England." But you think JPP wants the money, because he's saying that he doesn't want to sign the franchise tender. The only reason he signed it the other year because he had that accident and he didn't have a choice at that point because he was trying to hold out. So I think JPP maybe stays with the Giants, gets to pay this, because he doesn't really have to go chasing a ring anymore. I think now with him, it's about getting paid and building a legacy. So where you say, okay, when I left the game, I can be considered for the Hall of Fame. He's already got 2 rings. And I mean, if he can keep at this pace and play another 6-7 years, he'll arguably have some Hall of Fame, argument-wise numbers when you throw the 2 rings in. So I like to see him stay with the Giants. Arizona. Give me Eli over Carson Palmer any day.
Alshon Jeffrey. I didn't really put a team next to him because there were too many teams I was thinking that could use him. Well, Philly's the front runner, and I get that, but what about Tennessee? I'm looking at Tennessee. They need a number 1. They're built to run the football. You have a good quarterback. You have the 4th-ranked defense in the league, and you have a favorable conference to play in. Like, I'm not sure if I'm a free agent. I'm not dissing the Eagles, but just hear my thought process on this. If I'm a free agent, do I want to go to the 3rd or 4th best team of a division? They're not going to be better than Dallas. They might not be better than the Giants. You might not get to the playoffs. But if Tennessee is sitting there looking at me, that division can easily be won by Tennessee. As I said, they're built to run the football. They run the football very well. They have 2 running backs that can get it done. You have a young, really good to borderline great quarterback, and you have the 4th-ranked defense in the league. I don't understand why more people are not talking about going to Tennessee. Chandler Jones, Malcolm Butler, Kenny Stills. I mean, even a guy like Kenny Stills, Alshon Jeffrey. I'm trying to figure out why Tennessee's name isn't coming up. And they're built for it.
I don't know why their name isn't coming up. I think somebody like Alshon Jeffrey at Tennessee would definitely be deadly. I think it'll help Mariota tons. Like you said, they're in desperate need of a number 1. And with their running game that they got with Henry and Murray, I think he'd be really good there. But like I said, I know Philly's been looking at him. I think also when you look at Philly's receiving core, you got Jordan Matthews, our best receiver, and that's the only problem. He still was just shy of 1,000 yards last season. But you put somebody like Alshon Jeffrey, another big guy out there, and then you bring in a speedster like a Deshaun Jackson. We're not talking about the Eagles being at the bottom of the division anymore, even with a second-year quarterback in Carson Wentz, because we know he's got an arm at the very least. You got, then we're having a totally different conversation. So, yeah, I get what you're saying about people coming to Philly, but, Philly's a respectable town. They've been able to pick up free agents over the course of the year. The only problem is most of the time when we pick up free agents, they end up going in the tank like a la Nnamdi Asomugha. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Philly's defensive scheme ruined Nnamdi Asomugha's career. He was one of the best. Only thing claimed to his fame right now is the fact that he got 2 pretty babies by a beautiful black woman named Kerry Washington.
Yeah.
That's his claim.
He's still winning.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not knocking him. He ain't still winning. It's just like David Otunga in WWE. He don't wrestle no more. He's moved over to being a commentator, but I'm like, shit, your wife is still Jennifer Hudson. You still have an award-winning actress and award Grammy-winning singer wife named African Nubian sister named Jennifer Hudson. So why get in the ring and beat yourself up? Go ahead and play that little commentator good guy role. Why get in the ring and bang your body up and beat yourself up for the next 10 years and end up walking around and walking around and limping, or you can't stand up straight like Hulk Hogan, or you can't get off the ground like Shawn Michaels and those guys, man. Malcolm Butler. That's another very interesting one for me. If he's smart, you want to stay in New England, but Butler's got 2 Super Bowl rings in the last 3 years. We know New England doesn't pay, guys. The Dolphins, I hate to be a homer, but the Dolphins have put it out there. All the reports are they were looking to trade for a corner. That's what they were trying to use Brendan Albert for. Richard Sherman's name had came up. A few other corners came up. And I can't pronounce the young kid's name from the Rams had came up, who had a great season playing corner for the Rams on that top 5 ranked defense. So when I look at Malcolm Butler, 2 teams I wrote down, Dolphins and the Bucks again. There's the Bucks name popping up because they're gonna cut ties with Velmer, so he's gone. They're gonna need somebody to replace him. And Butler's a young guy. He's proven his worth. He could play corner. He supports the run. He could play nickel. He can follow the best guy around the field for the day if need be. We've seen Bill Belichick put him in that role. Dolphins or the Bucks or any other teams you think of, or do you think he stays home with New England? Malcolm Butler.
I think Malcolm Butler would be a fool to stay in New England. He's got to go get paid. He's got to go get paid. We know in the NFL careers don't last that long. I think because of what he did against Seattle, and he's a good corner. He's an excellent corner.
He's a very good corner.
I really think he's got to go get paid though. You never know when you're going to blow a knee out or, start having back problems and they end up being chronic back problems. You got 2 rings. You're still a young guy. I think, wasn't he a rookie when they won the first Super Bowl?
Yeah. He's only in his 3rd year.
Yeah, he was a rookie. Exactly. So within your first 3 years of your career, you already have 2 Super Bowl rings. You have got to go get paid. Now, Miami would definitely be a good look. Pittsburgh, I think, would also be. We know Pittsburgh has definitely got to do something. But when you threw the Bucks name out there, I think that one really kind of sounded the pause, the sexiest. Because look at it now. When we still talking about Deshaun Jackson, you figure, okay, Deshaun Jackson, and you throw in a Malcolm Butler to kind of help sturdy up that defense. We talking about a Bucks team that may be able to win a division next year. Carolina was the first team in the NFC South ever to win a division multiple years in a row. I think they won it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Or it might have been only 2.
Absolutely.
I think it was 3 years in a row. So we can almost, and then we see what happened to Carolina when they lost the Super Bowl. They suffered the Super Bowl hangover. The way that Atlanta lost, I would be more ready to lean towards they suffer a Super Bowl hangover versus just come back and still blow away that division like they did. I think the other teams are going to get better. So we never know, man. You add a Malcolm Butler and a Deshaun Jackson out there, all of a sudden Tampa Bay's a different team. So I like that, and I also like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got to do something on defense, like yesterday.
Lawrence Timmons is also a free agent off that Pittsburgh defense, and so is James Harrison. James Harrison's not going to go anywhere else. He said he wants a 2-year deal. I think he thinks he wants to play 2 more years, and then that's it. No one else is going to pay him big money in the NFL anyway, so he's probably going to stay there. But Lawrence Timmons is right, and you're right. They have to do something about that secondary. Either that, or just don't have your secondary go into a zone defense against Tom Brady and get embarrassed in a playoff game and have everybody questioning your defense. Chandler Jones, I wrote down next to his name the word anywhere, because he can literally go fit in anywhere. But I'm thinking, if I'm looking around the league, I'm looking at teams that can use some defensive help. Philly, I like Pittsburgh. If they lose Timmons, I like Carolina, because Carolina's ends did suffer a little bit last year. Once again, could have been a Super Bowl hangover. Another team I was thinking. Oh, Redskins. Redskins can use a guy like him on defense because Kerrigan keeps getting hurt. And I don't think Kerrigan is going to be happy being there much longer. I think the Redskins take a major step back this year, especially if you have to start over with a new quarterback and they don't get the Cousins deal done and they have to franchise him. You lose Deshaun. Once again, your line isn't great. You can't move the football consistently because you got different backs in there. I think the Redskins could be a 6 or 7 win team this year. I don't see them being that well at all. But they can use a guy like Chandler Jones. Even Dallas. Dallas got some guys that are in trouble. Dallas got some young guys. But if you get a guy like him, and there's another, also too, Alshon Jeffrey. I threw his name out. You said Philly. The team I'm going to throw out to you with Alshon is I'm going to say Dallas. I'm going to say Dallas for Jeffrey because they have the money. And why not put another big 6'4", 6'5" guy opposite of Dez Bryant? I don't think Terrence Williams is the dude. I don't think he's a number 2. I think he's a number 3. But I think Cole Beasley is a better number 3 than him. So he could be the odd man out. But there's another team for Alshon Jeffrey I'll throw you. But Chandler Jones, what you got for me?
Realistically speaking, I think, the most deadliest place that I thought out of all those teams that you named off but Chandler Jones, I would say Carolina. When you think about the fact that Carolina was always, even when they had Josh Norman, their defense was built from the front 7 back. You know what I mean? It was built from the front. They get a good pass rush. You got Thomas Davis. You got Luke Kuechly. We don't know what Luke Kuechly is going to be. Now, we can pretty much call him concussion prone now after suffering the many ones that he had, even the one to the point where he was crying on the field, on the cart.
He'll never be the same player again, Dred. I went on record of saying that.
Exactly.
We have seen the best longevity of Luke Kuechly that we'll ever see. He'll never concussions and backs. Those 2 things, in my book, you're never the same again.
Exactly. With that being said, I figure you throw somebody as deadly as Chandler Jones in the mix, Carolina's right back up there with having one of the top defenses in the league. Where else? I mean, I agree with you. He can pretty much go anywhere. It'll definitely be a good look for Dallas as well. I do not like Alshon to Dallas. Technically, that's really just the Eagle fan of me speaking. They don't need another damn receiver like that. Give them somebody like, I don't know, give them a damn Danny Amendola or something. They're fine. They're fine. Forget Dallas. But, definitely Chandler Jones will look good on Dallas. Like you said, they got some guys in trouble. Anybody that can give them some type of consistency as a pass rush or as someone who plays defense with their head, and not just all brawn and all that stuff would definitely be an upgrade for Dallas. Because as we can see, Dallas's problem isn't their offense. The problem, as it all boils down to, really was their defense and / coaching, decision making, and all that good stuff. But Chandler Jones could go anywhere. I'd like to see him in Carolina. I like Cam. I like Carolina. I like Ron Rivera. I like to see their defense get back to what it was because it was amazing to see Carolina go from a defense that looked damn near as good as Denver. Yeah, they lost to Denver, to turn around last year and looking just as bad as Pittsburgh.
Yeah, if you remember in the Super Bowl, they only gave up 192 total yards. It's like everybody thought that they made the storyline that, the Panthers got blown out, and I was the guy like, no, they didn't. Their defense gave up 192 yards. That's all their defense gave up. Denver couldn't move the football all damn day long. They had a play or two here or there just go their way, and then, of course, they score off of the sack fumble in Cam Newton earlier in the game. So, but no, I'm with you on Chandler Jones. He can really go anywhere. I think Dallas, and I know you hate this being a Philly fan, and I totally get it. But I think Dallas makes a move this offseason. I really, really do, beyond Romo. They're going to add something because they're right there. They're right on the cusp. The defense just wasn't. Aaron Rodgers was just in the zone. The defense wasn't there. They put up 30 plus. They put up 30 point plus too, man. So their offense did their thing. But man, I just think a stud defensive player or a big upgrade at one of the skill positions other than running back and Des Bryant's position is going to actually really wake Dallas up this year. And I don't know why I feel that. It's just been a good, even like a guy like, even a tight end like Bennett, Bennett could go back there. It's when you win a ring, I'm with you with Malcolm Butler. He'd be dumb as hell to stay in New England. He'd be dumb as hell you got 2 rings. They aren't going to pay you. And now I know Moses said, oh, but what are you saying? You're supposed to go get many. Not in the NFL. Quarterback is a different position. Quarterback, you need multiple rings. In the NFL, if you are a receiver and you get a ring, dog, it's time to go get paid. The NFL is the only pro sport that won championship rings forever. Forever. Basketball, 6 is the standard. Baseball, for closers, pitchers, like great hitters, I think 2 or 3 is the standard. Derek Jeter's got 5, I believe. So that's like astronomical for Derek Jeter. Even in hockey, you need 2 or 3 Stanley Cup. 1 Stanley Cup doesn't cut it. You need 2 or 3 because the great ones have 4 and 5. So you at least need 2 or 3. The NFL, you only need 1. And he's gotten 2 in the last 3 years. He'd be dumb as hell to go there. And why not go stick it to a rival, man? Why not go stick it to your old team and sign with a rival? Miami's sitting right there. We have Xavier Howard. I like Byron Maxwell. I told people when he was in Philly, I believe even you and Dwayne Davis, I said that's not him. That dude was a beast in Seattle, and I thought he was the better corner between him and Richard Sherman. And once he got into the system and got understanding and they bitched his ass, once he came back in Miami, he was one of our most solid and best players for the remainder of the year, including the game where he shut out your boy, Antonio Brown, in Miami in week 6, where he lined up with your guy all day long and really shut that guy out of that game. So I like Xavier, the other corner. But, man, if you can get a young guy in, now you got 2 young corners. Xavier Howard just finished his rookie year, but you're going to bring in a 3rd-year guy that's already got 2 rings. He's played in Belichick's system. He's been conditioned on how to prepare to play football. I would think that would be a perfect corner for Miami to go after. And then, like you said, with the Bucs, I'm with you on that, man. That defense is already good. You add a shutdown guy like that to one side of the field, and you maybe add a Deshaun Jackson, it completely flips that team, and you're right on the division. No one's ever won that thing back-to-back since it was created until Carolina had won it, I believe, 2 or 3 years in a row. I'm with you on that one. I believe it was 2. I'm not sure if it was 3. Nope, it wasn't.
Yeah, it might have been.
It might have been 2 because Atlanta won it this year, Carolina won it last year, and then the year before that. But then the year before that, didn't Atlanta win it again?
Yeah, I think Atlanta won the year before that.
Atlanta won it because matter of fact, Atlanta won it that year and they had home field. Remember, they lost the conference championship game at home.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yep.
They sure did.
They lost the conference championship game at home.
Yeah, but I got to run, though, V.
Nah, handle your business. It's time for me to end the show anyway. Appreciate the love, man. I'll holler at you.
All right, no doubt, bro.
Enjoy your weekend, man. My man Big Dread from the Egg Squad. Good stuff, man. Sidebar real quick. The White House has banned CNN and a bunch of other news outlets from the White House briefings because of their negative coverage of our dumbass president. Just to let you guys know, revision is history, and history repeats itself. That's how dictatorships start. So just want to point that out there for all the people. Now we have a president who's actually sensitive. We got a sensitive guy now? Like, you can't say nothing bad about me. I'll ban you. That's dictatorship type stuff. Just want to throw that out there. It's all about, it's all about perspective, guys. All about perspective. Great show today. My man JB Jennings said a lot of free agents out there being connected to Tampa. While they have plenty of cap space, they need to be wise in these moves because they failed miserably in the past few years. Yes, they have, but I think these players are different that they're getting. Like, there wasn't a Deshaun available a few years ago. There wasn't a Malcolm Butler, a Chandler Jones, a Kenny Stills, or Alshon Jeffrey. This is actually, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very, very good free agent class that's coming up for the NFL, man. Great show today, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're done for the day, man. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Get you some college basketball in. I'm actually going to watch an NBA game tonight, guys. I am. I'm going to watch the Spurs at the Clippers. And then I am going to, before that, I think I'm going to check out Toronto and Boston. I think those are the ESPN games tonight. Also, too, happy birthday to my man Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Today's his birthday, 40 years old. Got good genes. Yep, Celtics and the Raptors. And then the Spurs and the Clippers will be the games that I want. I'm actually going to watch some NBA basketball before I head out the comedy club tonight, man. Everybody have a great weekend, guys, on the show, man. I'm out, man. God bless. I'll see you guys on Monday.
I ain't make panda, but I've been wearing designer clothes. Back on my bullshit. Mac with the full clip. Might have to just lose it. I'm quick to use it. Who you acting a fool with? Is y'all niggas stupid? Smacking a few pricks. Stacking a few bricks. This track is exclusive. Packing a huge. He packing a toothpick. I'm packing a pool stick. Mac as I move with. 40 caliber two grips. I'm faster to shoot shit. Faster to tatted, get madder and madder. They scatter. I shatter the glass so you knew. With maggots with loose lips. They kissing a cruise ship. I'm grabbing a new fit. Back with the movement. It's the fact you a true bitch. My status is true. The cats I was cool with. Sending classes to school with. Keep adding confusion. Man, I refuse it. I think you rather diffuse it. You had to have to remove it. Lacking improvement. All you rappers included. I'm rapping Sharuba and your pretenders. We're hitting the jitters. I'm giving the business.
I'ma take what's mine. I want more money, more power. Goddamn nigga, it's about that time. I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit. I said I'm back on my bullshit. I'm back on my bullshit. Hey, I'm a BSC platinum. They even died of Jesus. That's what Puma say, killing them, that's an understate. Same nigga used to move the blue Malibu. Soon as a nigga get money, they get mad at you. Sitting on a Hollywood sign, I ain't that of you. And all my bitches is loyal, they got a tattoo. I've been getting busy playing frisbee with the race. Everybody pissy, well, the Lizzie by the case. Could've bought a boat for the price of the wristwatch. Pulling dope out the tires like a pit stop. Whoa, duck when I come through. I already sent you, show your niggas what the gun do. 4-5 for Mr. AK, a hit. Everybody lit till they lay in the shit. Your love is a 187. I've been killing them soft and getting them niggas apart.